All right. And we are live. The last word, Lord Cognito, Ebontis, Ty Guy Travis, fresh on that early Thursday campfire. Faces are getting fixed. It's been a while. The group's back together, getting
Yeah,
back
it's been
together
like a
again.
month, right?
Yeah, we got weddings and things and
Weddings,
travel.
canceled flights, Gamescom, travel, a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
Now, before we start, I gotta shout out Trav, man. Like his wedding was super dope. Like it
I
was
am so sad I missed it.
the most like gamer geek cool. Like and then he had the Roman Palace thing going, the Halo music, the Star Wars thing. You had the who's who in the industry pull up. I got the chance to meet some really cool people and put names to faces. But we did miss you, E. We did miss you. You were definitely missed in the building. So let's start with you. How are you doing, sir?
Sad I missed the wedding. As this is a nice reminder of that.
Why did you miss the wedding, sir? We'll put you on trial.
I mean, I've told this story a couple of times to chat, but it was like 2 a.m. in the morning, and my wife wakes me up in the middle of the night saying, "Hey, our flight got canceled." I'm like, "What?" They rebooked us to LAX with like a 28-hour layover to then fly to San Francisco. That made no sense.
Mhm.
Then, whatever storm was going on the East Coast was causing a lot of travel delays as well. So I called American because normally, like I've had it before. Yeah, I was on American. Sorry to call them out.
Nah,
every
you good.
every
It is
airline's
what
gonna
it
have their
is.
thing, but
Mhm.
normally, like when I went to GCX once, I had a flight change like slightly, like time change or something. They're like, "Hey, time changed. If you ever want to make a switch, then just go in the app and you get a free change or whatever." Because usually I'll try and do somewhat economical tickets. I
Mhm.
went in the app and it's like our flight that morning from Dallas to LAX was like locked. For whatever
Mhm.
reason, I could change like the next leg, but I couldn't change that first one. And there was a
Gotcha.
flight Monday I would have gone on, but the problem was I couldn't switch to it. I couldn't also get through on the phone because the storm on the East Coast, it's like 3:30 in the morning. I'm looking up on Twitter like
Mm.
what is going on, and there are people who are on hold for like 5, 6 hours. Like nobody can get a hold of anybody. There's no chance of
Yeah.
getting through on a phone because I was on hold for like an hour and a half. I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. And I
Was that
looked on
Sunday?
Twitter, yeah, and I looked on
Mhm.
Twitter and I was like, what is happening? It's like that's not good. So it was all I mean, flooding and everything eventually happened from all that. So yeah, bad flights, everything.
Mhm.
And then it was to the point where my wife was just getting over COVID, and I had been telling you that. She had, like, tested
Yeah.
positive, and it was
Ugh.
probably because it was 3 o'clock in the morning, but I was like, my
Mhm.
throat was feeling a little scratchy and
A
everything. I'm
little
like,
itchy.
I don't wanna
Uh-oh.
get out there and, like, bring it with me, and it
Yeah.
would
I feel
probably
you.
be, like, a couple days later where it would just be like, "Hey, Tuesday, now you're
Mhm.
positive," and it'd be like, "Why am I here?" So,
Mhm.
combination of a lot of factors, and even if I did rebook on Monday, it was gonna cost 3 times as much, but I still didn't know if I was gonna be sick. People were saying they booked a flight and then it got canceled the next day.
Yep.
So it's like 4 different factors. I'm like, I'm apparently not meant to go to this wedding. So sadly, I had to miss it, and I'm very sad because I saw like the clip.
Oh.
It might have been from Ains, I think, and it was like the quartet playing the
Yeah,
Halo
he was
theme,
reviewing the wedding. He
and
had a
I'm
he had
just
an in
like,
progress review of the wedding.
it's like those couple clips I saw alone, couple pictures with you guys. I was like, wish I could have been there. So
Mm.
yeah, I've been here.
But are we feeling better? It's nice
Yeah,
to
no,
feeling
I
better.
mean, honestly, I never ended up actually catching anything specifically. It was just kind
Okay.
of like a kind of scratchy throat that morning. But I mean, we were still waiting for her to test negative too.
Right.
And then she eventually was kind of coming out of it. But it's like on top
Mhm.
of everything else, it just was one of those that just kind of
Mhm.
sucked. And it was just like
I
one
feel
too
you.
many things that if I was worried if I booked the Monday flight and then if that one got canceled, it'd be like, so I told you guys that morning, obviously, and you guys for some reason were awake at those hours saying things to me. So Travis, I could see a little more because that would be like 1 a.m. his time. I'm like, okay, that's fine. For you, it was like, why the
Yeah.
hell are you awake, man?
I don't know. So the best thoughts happened that night. I was
That's
working.
yeah.
So I was just
So
like, I'm
yeah.
up. It is
Outside
what
of
it
that, I've
is.
been playing
What you been playing?
Star Wars Outlaws, World of
Mhm.
Warcraft, and we can talk about kind of variety stuff when we get to the later part of the show because like Gamescom happened and I saw a bunch of stuff in
Yeah.
there. Black Myth
Yeah.
Wukong.
Yeah.
Um, been playing quite a few things. Tiny bit of Destiny's in there, but we will still talk about it because most of that happened yesterday.
Mhm. And controversies. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah. Fun times on the Bungie news, good times.
Guess what Destiny needed at this
Oh, it's
moment?
Yeah.
perfect timing.
Yeah, great. Well, I was looking up the thumbnail, And the last thumbnail that I made was 305 because I did the
Mhm.
306 episode kind of by myself, just ranting for a while. And I kind of got into the point where I'm at in the state of Destiny right now. But the thumbnail for 305, which was before, that was the sad face about the layoffs. That was the last thumbnail I
Oh,
made, and I was like, "Oh
no.
shit."
Yep, here we
so,
go.
so it's been fun to be a gamer because there's a lot of good games to play, but it has been less entertaining to be a Destiny Bungie fan as of late due to many things. Yeah,
Yes.
we'll get to the other stuff I played later. Travis,
Mhm.
you're married now, buddy.
Married
What
man.
I
up?
wasn't
I
there
can't
for
believe
it,
this is
but
the first time I'm seeing you after the wedding.
I
It's
know it's
crazy.
been very
Yeah.
long. Well, you traveled and
Yeah.
other stuff has happened. It's been
Yeah, I've
kind of
been
ridiculous.
my personal life went from yeah, I just had a full reset, right? I had like the wedding and then my startup got acquired and I had to get a new startup job, so I'm starting that on the 9th and yeah, just everything felt like it hit the reset button.
Mhm.
And now I'm back to reviewing games too because I did take like a 2-week hiatus there.
Nice.
Your
Kind
wife
of
probably thanks you.
unintentionally. Kind of unintentionally. It was like a perfect little period where there weren't really any games that needed me on, so
Nice.
it just so happened to be around my wedding week, which was nice.
Mhm.
Um, I'm doing good, man. Things are falling into place. It's stressful. I'm running around doing a bunch of stuff, but it's good. I am married. I've got a
Hey, there he
wife,
is.
son,
Yeah.
not bad. It was really cool seeing everybody too. That was my favorite part. I got to hang out with Cog
Yes.
uh, the day before and the night before and the day after,
Mhm.
and just chill with him. Uh, I have your underwear, by the way. I got to ship that back to you.
Appreciate that. Appreciate
Um,
that.
and
I feel like there's this.
Shout out to Dita Barber, by the way.
shout out to D the barber. Yeah,
That
yeah.
big.
Got a
Got
clean
Actually,
cut there.
he asked about you.
Oh, that's what's
Yeah, he
up.
did because
I like D.
I saw him after the wedding. Uh, he
Mhm.
was like, "Hey, your boy already back in New York," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, it's too bad." Like, yeah,
I know I'm coming. I kept that card. Every time I'm coming back out there, I'm beelining to your boy to get that fresh cut. Woo,
yeah.
hook me up.
He's great. He is
Mhm.
great. He was also on time last time I saw him, so that was nice.
Wow, yeah,
Yeah,
that last time was like we had like an hour. We you gave me the whole tour of the, of the neighborhood before he got on
yeah.
time.
I know. He is. Yeah,
That's
he's
a
a good
long
guy.
wait,
But
but it must be good.
Mhm. No, it's worth it. It's worth it.
it was worth it. Yeah, yeah. It was also Cog and I both got our haircut right
Mhm.
before the wedding. It was like a couple
Yes.
hours
Nice, like
before. So
crisp and clean.
yeah,
Woo.
it was good.
There you go.
It worked. So yeah, that's been cool. But yeah, obviously, sorry you couldn't make it. You were your absence was certainly felt. That's for
Yes.
sure. So
Bummed.
and also thanks
Mhm.
to Cog. Cog also, in addition to being a guest at my wedding and hanging out and just being an awesome guy, he also had the privilege of being the first person to announce us
Oh, that was
as
fun.
Lord and Lady, which was really
Nice.
cool.
That was fun.
It's a good
D and
good
I were
choice. Good choice on the microphone
I
there.
did
D
the
and I
introduction.
yeah, D and I had talked about it before. We were like, who should announce us? And then I immediately was like, Cog. He's the announcer guy. That's what he does. He does intros. Like that should be that guy.
Oh,
And then we totally forgot to ask you. And so the day of, I was like, damn, I forgot to tell Cog I wanted him to announce us. And she was like, that's fine. He's Cog. Just invite him up here and tell him. And then
yes.
Just wing it.
we invited him up to our floor
Yeah.
and
Yo, you had to see the
asked him and
spot though.
he
The
knocked it.
spot was lit.
Oh,
It was like some
dude.
swanky
Dude,
speakeasy 1920s.
yeah.
I feel like prohibition was happening.
Yeah, so
It was lit.
it actually was a speakeasy in the 1920s, which is yeah, that's why you
Mm.
felt that way, but yeah, they had like a did you go inside the vault at all, Cog? Did you check out
No, I
the
didn't even know where the
yeah,
vault was at.
yeah, so they had a vault up at the 2nd floor near the bar where you were hanging out,
Okay.
and they kinda turned it into, like, an Instagram room because it looks
Yeah.
really, like,
Yeah.
photographable. But yeah,
Mm.
we were in there taking photos with different guests and stuff, but,
Nice.
I
Cool.
think you were, pretty wasted by then,
Yeah,
which was
we
awesome.
A few
lot of
few beverages were
libations,
consumed.
little
Yeah.
beverages, you know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
Yeah.
saying?
You
Hey,
were
they
hanging
was
out with Joe
coming. They kept bringing
Turner a
them. I
lot
was
of the
like,
night.
"Hey, Imma keep drinking."
Yeah, I mean, we had 2 open bars, so it
Woo.
was a pretty good time. Although they shut us down pretty early.
Mhm.
We told them to keep the bar open as long as they could, but
Mhm.
I think you guys ran them out of liquor or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, I definitely contributed to the
That was good, dude. It was worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had a really fun. I've been having a really fun couple weeks, and apologies that I missed this because one of them I believe I missed because I was hanging out with Ains and Cog and people that week,
Mhm.
and then the other one I missed because I just got a new day job and I had to fly out to Philadelphia to meet the team.
Nice.
And yeah, so it's just been real busy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
life
man.
happens sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah, we've
been
been
real
life.
busy. I didn't miss a bitcast though because they're on
Really?
Sunday.
I see where
Yeah,
the priorities lie.
yeah.
That's how it
Just got.
goes. Yeah.
It's just easier to miss a Thursday, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
So
Because like
we'll
even
just
even the
move the
day
show to Sunday afternoon for you, and
yeah,
then
even the day before, yeah, I was sure Cog would love
yeah,
that.
exactly.
Yeah.
We'll
Oh
just
yeah, I'd love that on Sunday.
yeah, we would do it after
Um,
Iron Lord's podcast, so the time is always fluctuating by anywhere from 1 to 7 hours.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Never watch
Yeah, because
football ever again.
even the show before the wedding, Ains didn't leave until like Sunday that night, so we did that show, and then after the wedding, we happened to meet it. So yeah, it was very funny.
Nice,
Um,
nice, nice. Yeah, man. I mean, that's for me. Obviously, at the wedding, and then after that, had to travel. Did the Gamescom LA, which kind of came up last minute. Looks like Xbox was doing something like a sister event, during
Yeah.
Germany, and they wanted to get content creators out there. So saw some familiar faces, some new faces, which was really cool. But got to play games, and then my man Teddy, who was also at the wedding, he accompanied me, was cameraman and tech guy extraordinaire on the scene, bro. He hooked us up. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have been able to do Defining Duke a regular episode, as well as he helped me with my interviews. But yeah, man, it was cool. Got a chance to play Metaphor, Refantasio, Little Nightmares 3, which I'm embarrassed I never played a Little Nightmares game
No, I
before.
own both of them and I haven't played them either. I need to.
Bro, that game is so good.
Well,
It's like,
apparently the team that's doing 3 is not 1 and 2 separate.
yes.
So they're
Yeah, 3 gives me inside vibes, like co-op. I'm like, this is our game. Like, you're gonna love this game.
yeah.
And you don't have to
Well,
play
and
it
there's
co-op.
also
You
what
can
is
play
it,
it with some friends.
Reanimal? That's the other one that's
Mhm.
may as well be a carbon copy, kind of like they're both doing those
Yeah.
vibes.
Yeah, definitely those vibes. Hit that up. Towerborn, which I really liked.
Keep
Had a
hearing good
lot of
things.
yeah, a lot of good things. A lot of some historic studios guys that did Banner Saga. You know what
Yep.
I mean? And check that out. Played Adam for needs a little work. Needs a little
Yeah,
work.
well, I don't feel like it's got a date or anything, does it? It's got
Yeah, it's early. It's early.
yeah.
It definitely did a little work. And then obviously I played Avowed, which I didn't
Yeah, the
think was
world heard
going
about
to
that one.
going to go
You
viral,
were
but
quoted on multiple podcasts that I've listened to about your wonderful interview. So
nah, much appreciated. But yeah, it's a shame the rest of the stuff they get talked about. But I did have to ask the question because coming off of the Redfall situation, I learned always ask about the actual console that's also not there because I was playing on a high performant PC, which was definitely running on 60 frames per second. It looked amazing. UE5 was shining. But I was like, hey, how's that Series X? And then that's when the answer happened. So,
oh, you got the
shout out to
scoop? You got the
yeah,
scoop about 30 FPS on console?
yeah, it
yeah.
was me.
Look at
It was me.
you.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Look
And
at
shout out to
you.
IGN for sourcing,
Yeah.
showing love. I was like, look, we got the link, we
We're
got the
pretty good
back
about
link.
that. We're pretty good
Yeah,
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he was on fire with that. That really helped it take off. When you guys gave us the alley oop on that, that was dope. So yeah, man, it was super cool. So and I obviously got a chance to pod with Maddie, so that was always fun.
Yeah.
But that's been it. Other than that, just games, a lot of stuff. And obviously, you finished my Path to the Goddess.
Yes, I
I was
did finish
happy.
Kinetigami. I did beat that one.
Nice.
Yes, I played that.
Hmm.
I
That
just
game's
started it and I
weird, dude.
was
What a weird game.
It is such a
yeah.
weird game.
I was like, it's creative. I appreciate that it's doing some kind of different stuff because you'll set
Mhm,
people up in places, but then you got to kind of live react when the big ones come in from sides and who's
mhm,
going to be doing the day night cycle. It's the little base building thing. And I don't know if we talked about it off or some other place. The base building, it's like, it's fine, but it could have
mhm.
been, the meeting could have been an email. It's kind of how I feel about the base building kind of thing.
Right.
But overall, just the actual like gameplay section was
Mhm,
creative, unique, the bosses and kind of synergizing everything. And then, I mean, it was
mhm.
like 1 or 2 I kind of struggled with. The final boss took me a couple. And then when I finally got the final boss strategy right, took him
Yup,
down. And it was like, okay, got
bro.
him. I'm like, I'm not going to do New Game Plus. I beat it. I was like, I was happy
Yeah,
to. Kind
you
of same
good.
thing. I feel like I've beat some things recently and I'm just like, I'm good. I'm not going for like trophies or New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Way too many other things to go. But no, it
No, I
was,
feel you.
I I understand why you enjoy it now, especially as your kind of turn-based mentality and joys and stuff like that. I know where that
You know
could
what's
come
the
in.
feature that I love the most? Is when you're in a boss fight, and I call it the and you press the bumper and you have them all attack and they all your
Oh,
villagers
yeah.
go after the guy, and then you can say retreat and they all go back
Yeah.
to the what you call to the goddess to protect. I love it. It's a stupid feature. I just love it. It's
Oh,
just
yeah, just
hilarious.
everybody all out attack, and then
Yeah,
yeah, you figure out you did that, didn't send them back fast enough, and there's like 12 guys around your goddess, and she's toast.
absolutely.
Yeah.
hmm So that's been it, and then I'll see this game that we're supposed to be talking about,
Yeah. So,
Which I
so
have not played for full
which I have
clarity.
not
no, it's
played either.
fine. Honestly,
He's
Sorry,
gonna
I'll
teach us about the
yeah.
game.
just to be clear, I was going to play yesterday, and then when I saw your messages, E, about all the bugs, I was like, I'm waiting for a patch.
Yep.
I'm not wasting my time. No way.
Bro, that was a nightmare what you explained to us. I was like, I'm not doing
Yeah.
that.
So, a
Let's go.
couple of
What happened?
things. First off, since you guys have been on the since you guys have been on the show, my two wonderful guests I've got here, um, Solstice happened, and it came and went in the
Yes.
time that you guys were doing other stuff. So that
I
came and
threw
went.
toothpaste at a bonfire. I threw
What
a
came and what?
Solstice, the
solstice.
Solstice event with the
Oh
European
my
aerial
god.
zone, that came and went.
I didn't even hear about that event.
Yeah,
That's so
I
funny.
played it
I
for
did
a
it once.
whole day, like
Mhm.
just to probably cover a couple of things on it, and then I was out because I actually got the bow and I got it with the destabilizing repulsor combo. So I finally got like one of those things that's a combo. Um, but yeah, there wasn't really any weapons I was really ready to go for. I got the armor set unlocked, and then it's like, a little bit of stuff here and there. But yeah, Solstice was Solstice. Like, not much really changed. We had a new weapon, which was the bow. I got a decent roll on it, and I was like, I'm good. I kind of won the event, so I'm kind of
Nice.
great. Didn't touch it for a couple weeks
What
because
roll you got on the bow? What roll you got?
repulsor and destable.
Oh, okay.
I
Gotcha.
was like, for a bow, that could be a little fun. There might have been something else, but I think it's a lightweight bow, so for that combo, it's probably the best I was going to do. So yeah, then just took a break on that, and we'll cover the other stuff that I've played. And then Tuesday started Act 3. Now,
How's it going?
with regards to the story,
Yes.
you don't get much with regards to story. It
Okay.
sends you quickly into the exotic mission. So the story mostly comes through that. You got little messages from Maya that kind of come through, like kind of how you saw the little text lines appear before from Savathun talking to you, kind of stuff.
Oh,
Similar
little
way,
cryptic joint.
Maya's
Yeah.
Maya's kind of being a little cryptic. There's a voice message
Mhm.
in there. There's like a tiny bit of prep to it, but not really. The NES 007's mostly the thing afterwards.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so you jump into the exotic mission. So this is the one that was advertised as the biggest exotic mission that we've ever made.
Okay.
On a technical term of scale, that may be true. Is it the best exotic mission they've ever made? No.
Got it.
You got Whisper, you got 0 Hour, you've got um
Dual.
Duet, Dual
Dual
Destiny, like
Destiny.
those three already are above it. And then
Mhm.
also you had the one through space and all the pieces with the Deepstone Crypt, bless you.
Mhm. Bless you.
Um the story's not done. We still have 2 more weeks. This is just like kind of a initial part of Act 3 story.
Mhm.
So we've got an exotic mission that was advertised to be the biggest. And there are some traversal sections. There was one point where it took me a little while to figure out, but then I eventually got it. The opening section took some people a little bit to figure out. I just happened to do the right thing on the opening section. I heard some people were like lost there for a bit.
Mhm.
And it's not a bad mission, but I think it
Okay.
just falls not as high as some of the peaks that we've
Right.
had. I mean, 0
Got it.
Hour, Outbreak,
Of
Dual
course.
Destiny,
Classics.
those are
Classics.
like, so it's below those. It's not in the top 3. It's not sitting on the
Mhm.
podium.
Okay.
So as you work through the mission, you've got it kind of teaches you the mechanics of these like Vex modules. You'll pick them up. Connection will like kind of build platforms. Partition will take down a wall. Access will turn on a portal to let you go between different areas. And it's kind of like a logic puzzle. It's like you need to get from here to here, and you need to
Mhm.
figure out how to move like these things to turn on things to then like if you open a portal, well then you go over here and then you grab something where you can go back and now you can go a different way. So it's just
Mhm.
like a little bit of a kind of a puzzle to get through. Didn't take long to make it through. You got a mid-boss section where you're kind of fighting back and forth between a Tormentor and a Subjugator. Tormentor, Subjugator, final third of each health bar is on the same platform, so Tormentor I prioritized first, and then the other one you can kind of plink him from range. We still have our sniper rifles with the perks from the the artifact, so those are still very effective, say the least. And then you get to the big boss fight, which is a big arena. Main reason it's a big arena is because mostly it's open. And you have to use the same Vex modules that you pick up, and you get those from killing. Like it's a big Minotaur guy. You get those when you kill him, and you use those to build a platform. Well, you build the first little mini platform, and you initiate a boss cycle of doing all the things. Then you pick it back up, so you remove that platform, then you go build one to the side. Then you do that, kill the enemies, give yourself a little space, stand on a platform, defend that for a little while, and then when you're done with that and you've activated the boss damage plate long enough to complete it, then you'll have the option to initiate damage. You're solo or with a group, you can probably nuke him pretty quickly, but depending on how your damage phases go, he has a marker at his half health bar. When that happens, the room is divided into quarters with red barriers. So the only way to get around at that point is through the portals, which are now going to be available because there's 2 Minotaurs that spawn with access modules. So you can take those and turn on the portals so you can get back to all the places you could, just a little roundabout. The problem is, and this happened to me 3 different times, so it's pretty replicable. If you get him below half, but not below a quarter, and your next damage phase is going to initiate in that 1/2 to 1/4 phase, and the boss can go one of 2 ways. It's left or right. It's just kind of the direction he's going to face, and that's the way you build. If he goes left and he's in that phase, he bugs, and it is a lock on the progression. And I literally had the same thing happen 3 times, so I know what causes it.
Damn.
The only way I beat the mission is I powered through that with enough damage to be able to push him to the next phase. That's the only way I managed to do it, or if he didn't go to the left. So the fact that there is a boss phase and it's decently far into it, the fight, then I was I just had to jump off and start it over. When I was on stream recording my guide, I got there, and then we had to redo the damage phase 2 or 3 times before I got one that I finally pushed through fast enough to actually finish the guide. So I had plenty of examples in my guide to say this is what happens.
It's crazy that something that big got through their QA team.
The fact that
that part.
And that is exactly one of the things that you can think and point straight to it is their QA team has been gutted multiple times. We know the player support team is struggling. I don't know if they've even mentioned this bug publicly.
Yeah.
And normally they'll say,
Really?
"Hey, I haven't seen
They
anything on
even do
Twitter,
the whole Twitter
Destiny
thing?
2
That's usually
team,
their go-to
Bungie help.
move.
I have seen
Wow.
nothing," and I tagged them specifically about it. And I know I'm not the only one with it because somebody else in my chat said it. Somebody in the comments said it. I saw the same thing on Bungie forums. So it's it's a thing. And that's why I was you can go through the expert version and get the catalyst. I was well, there's no way in hell I'm trying that solo until much less I'll just save up and do it one time when it's all done anyway. So then when you complete the mission, you do get the new Void auto rifle, comes with special ammo, has 225 in the mag.
How it's doing? How it feeling?
It's the auto rifle version's a rapid fire scout kind of speed.
Okay.
Hits pretty hard, but then if you just hip fire it, you get the Wyvern shot, the 5 void bolts that they travel slowly, but they do hit hard. The thing I saw on PvP that breaks things is if you hip fire that, it is a one-shot kill.
What?
Yeah.
So do you have to build it up to get to the hip shot?
No, you just fire.
So it's a one-hit kill, straight up running around.
It has travel
but
distance.
It's special.
It's special. So I know PvP is weird on special ammo because they've been still trying to figure that one out for 10 years, I think now. But yeah, special ammo, if you do get it, it's going to be very powerful. So I know testing, and apparently DPS on it's also pretty broken because I think Cross was doing some testing with it too. So it is potent, but it's also just a void auto rifle.
Right.
So, and this is kind of where I just kind of get to my lack of excitement about new things in Destiny anymore, it seems. And
Yeah.
that's just probably me where I'm at, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Mhm.
Um, so that's the mission you go through. And then to be able to actually do the secret chest so you can try and get to the catalyst, you need to do the NES 007 mission. You know, like the ones we've been doing with
Yeah,
Failsafe.
go collect plants, go do
Do you
this,
want to
all of
know
that.
the first step in the NES 007, which is how you are able to work towards the catalyst for this Void auto rifle?
What is that steppy?
Go get solar kills. I'm serious. I saw that on Reddit and I didn't think about it until I read it. I'm like, how is it just not void kills?
That is true. Yeah, damn, yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
like a weird so it's like that was so it was go get solar kills,
Mhm.
then go basically breach the arena breach executable or whatever that thing is.
Yep.
Do that once and you're picking up data, and then when I finish the mission, just that step completed. So hopefully that
Mhm.
was all I needed to do. And then final step, go get rapid Vex kills. So I'm just like, I'm going back to the moon in that
Okay.
one cave with the Vex to get kills. So you can get some Vex
Yeah.
kills. And then after that's done, then I went back in the mission, did the secrets and stuff. They're kind of unique in there where you go through
Mhm.
and there's some puzzles you gotta. The first one's easy to activate, but then you just gotta pay attention as you're going through the mission. They're not that hard to miss, but you just can't do them until you get that step done.
Got it.
But I'm at the point to where I'm gonna save these up for whatever weeks there are,
Mhm.
because you can go find the secret chest on normal, and then you can
Right.
just do the mission on expert the last time and check 3 different boxes. So I'm just gonna wait.
Gotcha. You just wait. Yep.
Yeah. So that's kind of
Mhm.
where that one's at with the mission. So that's the big one
Nice.
this week. There's like story stuff in there. I didn't dig too deep into like everything that was going on, so I was kind of
Mhm.
waiting to kind of get a little recap on the story. But like right now, Maya's just kind of like saying,
Just chill.
"Hey," she's mostly just saying, "You're, you're not going to be able to stop me. What I'm trying to do
Mhm.
is get us back to a golden age, what she thinks is a golden age, and we're basically just
Mhm.
trying to stop her." I don't know, it just isn't really working
Okay.
for me with regards to, like, compelling. Because what is the end of this, like, season gonna be? So we got our exotic mission, you don't face her in
Mhm.
there, you face a Hydra, just another
Okay.
Hydra. That's the boss in the mission, is just a Hydra floating around. And
Mhm.
then what is the end of the season gonna be with her? Is she just gonna, like, go into the Vex network and we're just gonna have to go chase her sometime down the road? Are we
Mhm.
gonna actually defeat her and face her? Either way, I don't think it's gonna be, like, a
She
big
giving
deal
strong
for.
sub boss energy.
Yeah, like, I don't know how you have a finale for this 18-week episode that has much of besides, like, that comes in with a whimper. Like, it doesn't feel
Mm.
like there's gonna be much there.
Gotcha. Is our boy free from the control? Is he
Oh,
still?
Saint's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
fine.
He doing
She
better now.
just Yeah, I mean, he's
Questioning
been
life and
That
existence.
happened in Act 2. It like
Yeah, he was free in Act 2. She was just talking about, like, "I did
Cool.
this thing, I did this thing. I can do all these things," but then, it's like, "Okay, well, what's the end gonna be like?" So I'm not sure this plane is gonna land that well, or if it's something where I gotta kinda see what the story is before we
Did
get
they
to the 3rd
did
week.
they did they explain why she has what you call his voice? I'm curious.
My
What's our girl? Lakshmi, make the
Lakshmi?
town great again.
Well,
Did they explain?
I feel like somebody probably knows this better than I do. I feel like
Okay.
that's like a copy of her or something that she kind of like sent off to do something. Because Maya Sundaresh, Lakshmi may have been like, one of those copies or something that was made. I don't know.
Okay.
That's probably very wrong.
Okay.
Maya
Oh,
is
Maya is
Lakshmi.
Lakshmi.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
there you go.
And last question I have on the lost stuff is do we get any Clovis? Because I was hoping we get a little Clovis. Or that's spoiling. No Clovis? I thought I saw some Clovisy stuff in the trailer for the Act
There
3.
are frames in the mission. That is all.
Stop it, tell me
Lakshmi
that.
is one of Maya's copies. Yeah. Okay. See, that was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there are a couple of frames, and that's where you kind of get a voice message from her kind of thing, but
Mm, didn't utilize the Clovis.
nothing
Okay.
related to Clovis, nothing like
Damn.
that.
All right. All right. He's just a conductor
seems
conducting.
pretty bad.
Yeah, those sound.
The
Those sound
conductor,
hot.
yeah, the conductor is Imsund 12 from those old messages that we had. Yeah.
Ah,
So like
got
the
it. I remember
Imsund
that.
12, Maya Sundaresh, like, yep, that's
Maya
all
Cinema
that.
12. Got it. Mm.
So we have 2 more weeks, and now that we've got the exotic mission, I don't know what we're gonna be doing. Like, I don't know. If she would have been like a final boss somehow, like contorting some
Yeah.
thing in the exotic mission, that would have been cooler. I feel like now that this is done, I don't know. We're gonna do NES 007 and 008 and gonna go shoot a few more Vex in the face, or I don't know. So yeah, this is
Yeah. Yeah.
this is where it's at.
This is where it's at. We just go play NES. 007. Mm-mm-mm. Definitely sounds exciting.
Seems like a good game.
Yeah.
So here's the problem.
Mm.
Oh, also the bug with the first hidden chest not giving you progress toward the seasonal.
Mm-mm.
So I had to go through, and there's like the first little puzzle you do activates the ancillary network, so you can do the other things, the secret things in the mission. One of
Mm.
the secrets you go through and get almost teleports you back to the beginning of the level, and that's how
Mhm.
you get like the upgraded frame, where you kind of bump up the stats a little bit. Then the
Yeah.
final one is where I actually got it to check the box, where I had to go through another portal, and that's kind of by where Maya Sundaresh's voicemail is. You go
Mhm.
through that portal. That puzzle is a little crazier. Um, Not crazy, but just a little more complicated. When I finished that, that's when it checked the box. If that's broken, that's not good, but I don't know if everybody made it through all the steps either. So it's not just like the first random chest you do. That's just
Yeah.
basically allowing you to do different things in the mission.
Got it. Yeah, that don't sound too exciting at all. And then no dungeon this season, that right? We ain't getting nothing
No.
else. That's
They
it.
would have told us about that one, I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, trying to hype something
Mm.
up, so I don't know where they would put a dungeon now
And
besides
this is the one. Last question. This is the one where we get to do all weeks. When's the one we get? It's next act. We get to do all the weeks.
episode 2.
Episode 2.
Act 1 is supposed to be all at once.
Right.
So it's
They're gonna
gonna
let
be
us
1
Netflix
week of
pretty much.
content, 5 weeks of playing different games, 1 week of
Mhm.
content, 5 weeks of playing other games. That kind of cycle.
Oh, ooh, Tassie broke the Black Myth thing. Ooh,
What
okay.
Black Myth thing?
He said a source with knowledge of the situation has told me that Black Myth Wukong is not currently on Xbox because of an exclusivity deal and is not delayed because of any sort of technical issue. He got the source? Interesting.
I mean, I
This
could
is
have told you that it was not because of a technical issue.
real. Oh, you knew too. Ooh, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I
I
felt
mean,
it,
I
but if I say it, then they all attack me and be like, "Oh, he's just fanboying."
I mean, I assumed it was because if you're China, why would you put it on Xbox? Like
Mm,
the appeal versus market share is just not really existent. I
mm-hmm,
I would have said math, but yeah, it makes sense that it's exclusivity. Exclusivity is kind of the exact same
mm-hmm.
reason, right? Like
Yeah,
exclusivity deals with PlayStation only work because the economics on the Xbox ecosystem don't really make sense, especially if you're an Asian
exactly.
game maker.
I
So
get that. Yeah, that makes sense. Obviously
I
you're
get
gonna
it
go to
too.
the base and stuff like that. Plus, the lead platform probably have more experience, and they're a new team, right? They like was it game? They used to do mobile or something. I think.
Yeah. I mean
Yeah.
the Chinese market in general, I mean, what was it like 10 years ago that the Chinese market allowed video games to even be sold
Hmm.
in their country? So I would say everything there is pretty new.
Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Very fun game, though.
Yeah, yeah. You were playing it, right? You were
Not
rocking it. You
played
liked
it.
it. Hmm.
Have
How's
not
that
checked it out.
performance?
On PC, mine's been solid.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm, like, recording or streaming, I just keep it at 60 frames, and that's totally fine. I mean, I adjusted settings, but I'm playing on 4K at high, and that
Hmm.
was generally pretty good. So,
Yeah, our reviewer had a bunch of bugs with it, but still really liked it.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, for one of my buddies, hasn't been so much into the parry type games. Like, I really enjoyed Liza P, but that didn't really click with him. He didn't like Sekiro as much. This is really all about dodging. And it's just
Yeah.
kind of, he was like, hey, it's just nice to be, and it's like mostly a boss rush. There's like a few
Yeah.
small enemies, boss, few small enemies, boss. There's 81 bosses or something, and they're all good fights so far that I've had. One was kind of frustrating, but I got through it. But um,
Mhm.
like it is nearly all dodge except you have like a occasional parry ability you can use. Mostly it's about the dodging though, and I don't know, the skill trees and the stances and everything else, like, I have nothing but praise for Black Myth Wukong from my end of things because 'cause I've thoroughly
Oh,
enjoyed
nice.
what I've played so far. I haven't beat it because 'cause
Okay.
I've been playing 3 different things, but I will. It's too good.
Mhm. Nice. That's big for you. I was curious as a Souls guy,
Oh, yeah.
what
No,
your thought
it's I
was.
mean, it's very
Yeah.
solid, and just, like, the opening cinematic alone is quite one
Oh, I
hell of a
saw that.
spectacle.
I saw that. That was
Yeah.
some god tier. Fly to the cows and the gods in the back. I was like, damn, that joint looked crazy. I ain't going for that. Tempted me. I was like,
Well, that
I
f
ain't about that life,
the
but that looked fun.
like, so I kinda got, like, a
Woo!
Cliff Notes version of Journey to the West because I just didn't have
Yeah.
enough time to catch up on it, but I was, like, taking the dogs for walks, so I was like, "Alright, give me, like, the 30-minute YouTube video summary of kind of the lore and the mythology," and some of the stuff that was
Mhm.
mentioned, I'm like, I've been seeing it as I've gone through, which is, like, really cool, and that's huge piece of, like, marketing and advertising behind this link to the game and the
Mhm.
story and stuff like that, and China had a huge push for it too, but, like, the fact that it ties into the story and it's not probably following, like, to the letter, but,
Yeah.
they mentioned, like, a dragon or going behind the waterfall or a three-eyed guy and all those and I'm seeing those things as I go through, I'm like, "Okay, I'm seeing it here." If you really knew the story, you'd probably be picking up on all the Easter eggs that I'm
Yeah.
missing, but
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoy that one.
Mm. Yeah, it's doing crazy in China, bro. These numbers, insane.
Well, they
Turns
have
out
just a
China has a lot of
I was
people.
like, they have a lot of
Yeah.
people. If there was the same version for India, you'd have about a 1.3 billion people over there
Mhm.
too, so, yeah, it's a big audience, and I think the
It is
country
interesting to
advertised it.
see the split out of interest because it was like more than 80% of the sales were in
Yes.
China.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
the
saw
game's
that.
up
Very,
80%. That's
very
insane.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like when it's on, it goes through, like, the cycle of it seems when, like, the Asian market kinda goes to sleep and wakes up and you see it on Steam, but it's also, like, there's still hundreds of thousands of people playing it when, like, the cycle is lower. So around the world,
Mhm.
it's still obviously a very good popular game, but then you're like, we have a whole new country playing it, and
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it is.
I
Mhm.
ended up buying that one for myself just to avoid any of the whole stuff that went on with that. Yeah.
What stuff went on?
Oh, you ain't
The
see?
so the
You
review
telling me?
copies the
What was
review copies that went out didn't have a whole lot of, like, stipulations to them, and I
Oh, that
had
thing. Yeah.
that?
yeah, and then there were the content creators that had an option to get a key with certain stipulations and that stuff,
Mhm.
so it was like,
Yeah.
I
Well,
just
No,
I
no.
just went ahead and bought it,
the
and
rev
I
the
bought Black Myth
review
Wukong and
copies
played it, yep.
the review copies they sent to media also had weird stipulations, but they were
Mm.
nowhere near when people were talking. I heard like content creators talking about it, and I was like, "Oh, I saw the embargo for Wukong. It was stupid, but it wasn't like that crazy."
Well,
And
that's
then
why
I
nobody
saw that,
believed it.
Mhm.
yeah, and then I saw that the content creators had a different one, and I was like, "Whoa, that
Oh, and
was
you wanna know one
crazy."
of the best things is the first day that the game actually came out, one of the
Mhm.
I saw somewhere on Twitter, was like, "Oh, this is kinda perfect." It was like everything that they were told not to say was the description of their Twitch stream.
Hey, yo.
Now, I don't know if they bought the game on their own or how that all worked
Okay,
out or
they
anything,
yeah,
but they
okay.
might have just been poking fun at every single bullet
Yeah.
point that was listed. I'm going, "Yep, that was a thing."
I mean,
Okay.
I don't know how much of that is the publisher's fault. They do live in a totalitarian
Right,
regime,
and I was like, "There's a
Yes.
lot of politics involved in
There's a
that, and
lot
if
of
you don't
politics
believe
involved.
that,
yeah,
Yeah.
you're kind
not
of
allowed
running
to
around in the
post
dark."
photos of Winnie the Pooh on your stream, I assume.
Yeah. So, but I thoroughly enjoy the game, so if you haven't played it yet and you want a Souls, it's still hard.
Mhm.
Like, I will not it's not like,
Mhm.
"Oh, just because it's dodging is" no, it's still plenty of kicking my butt. It's still but yeah, it's a lot of bosses and very pretty world. I mean, the invisible wall kinda thing, like, everybody probably has mentioned, like, there are invisible walls in a lot of places. Um, I feel like if you could take what they've done with 1, and if they choose, because like, speculation, because when I was on the, what is it, ACG's podcast, I forget the name.
Oh,
Um
the Best Damn
yeah,
Podcast
the Best Damn
podcast?
Gaming Podcast. When we were on
Yeah.
there, we're trying to speculate, like, okay, so you sold 10 million copies in like 3 days or some ridiculous amount of copies. Obviously, they're gonna want them to do something again to have more financial success. What would you I was like, and I feel like if this is the Journey to the West story, then maybe you need to pick a different, story to tell. But if they can
Mhm.
take, like, because they have a pretty engine, damn good combat, like fluid animations, all that stuff's really, really well done. But when it comes to, like, the world and, like, some of the invisible walls and those kind of moments, like, it's rough around the edges in those kind of places. That's the stuff I would look to see in hopefully a sequel or the second anthology story or
The
something.
invisible walls thing, some of that stuff is crazy. Like,
Yeah,
there's
there was even one
so
just I
many
was
invisible
repeating a
walls.
boss fight and you'd, like, run down a hill, but there was, like, a
Mm.
little kind of small rock as you would run down the little sand hill to, like, turn a corner. Well, if I wasn't wider than the rock, I would actually even hit so there's enough in there that it's like, gotta work on some boundaries here a little bit for the game.
Yeah.
But overall, like, when I'm in the combat of, like, boss fights or anything, I'm not really hitting those. Not
Yeah,
generally
I'm
a big
hearing
deal.
that the PS5, the optimization is pretty rough. Like they're saying like the input
No
lag,
surprise.
yeah, it's brutal. Like they're using some type of frame pacing generation stuff, and so basically it's trying to get to 60, but the response time is like it's at 30 frames per second, so you're not getting your dodges and your rolls and stuff out the
Mhm.
way. So I'm hearing from an optimization standpoint, it needs a lot of work.
I heard at first early that PS5 was kinda doing okay, maybe that was just, like, the early chapter because yeah, I hadn't heard that stuff yet, but
Mhm.
doesn't mean it's not there.
Ooh, the Twitter's out.
Not
Yes.
sure there's gonna be much in here.
Looking at it right now.
No,
Let's talk
it's
about
real
your
short.
bugs.
Are
Let's
they
see.
addressing the bug?
That's what I'm saying. Sword swinging. Looks good.
Encore is probably our most ambitious exotic mission to date, and we're not here to spoil any of it, only to ask you to play it and discover for yourselves. Is there anything in the
Cover
Mhm.
the bugs for yourselves.
is there I'm looking for, like, known issues because usually they're not even
Adaptive
known.
fixes. Nope.
There is none.
Mm-mm.
There was a pretty good
They
list at
have
some point, maybe they knocked some out,
they
but
have Destiny 2 updates, but it's
yeah.
Cryoclasm and Solstice
The only
only.
thing that's there is I think for episode 2 for Revenant, they're going to do Pathfinder rituals for each strikes, Crucible, and Gambit. You're not forced to split. And I was like, oh, what do you
Yeah.
know? Let us play how we want to, and as opposed to the way you want to. Smart.
Yep.
So that will be kind of the only change I know of in there. So yeah, light stuff on the Twid.
Like.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about Black Myth Wukong.
Mm.
Have you? So neither of you have played it though.
Nope.
No. Mm-mm.
That
Yeah.
one is definitely when I heard good but has bugs, I said to myself, not a priority.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
mean, that one for me has been
I'll wait.
generally pretty smooth, but yeah, if you wait, it'll probably only get better, I'm sure.
Mm.
What else have you guys been playing?
I
Anything
was gonna
that
ask
you
you guys
can
about
talk about?
stuff I'm playing I can't talk about, but I was gonna ask you guys about. It seems polarizing when I spoke to Maddie and then I spoke to Addict. How any of you play Outlaws?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
What's the vibe? What's the vibe? Because I'm
Travis,
hearing
I want to
like,
hear yours first because
yeah, very
Yeah.
conflicting things on this
I
game.
think it's going to be
Yeah, I
divisive for
get
a
it.
lot of people.
Yeah.
I get why it has conflicting things. To me, it's like just a basic Ubisoft game.
Okay.
Like it's a basic Ubisoft game with a Star Wars skin on it. Um, I think Ubisoft has never really been like great at telling stories, and so the
Mm,
story keeps things really basic. Um, the exploration and combat is like very Ubisoft. It's like you shoot some stuff and you sneak around a lot.
mhm,
So I mostly sneak. It's got a ton of lockpick mini games, which
mhm,
is I guess you have to do if you're a scoundrel. But yeah, I'm like maybe 15, 20 hours in it, and I'm having a good time. But there's really nothing in the game that has like stood out to me as special.
okay.
And that's kind of the big problem is so some people I think that the divisiveness you're seeing isn't like anything egregious. It's not people being like, "Oh, I absolutely hate this game," or "Oh, this is the best game I've ever played." I literally think it's just a matter of like how okay with you are how okay are you
Mhm,
with just a regular ass Ubisoft game? Because some people really go for like the regular Ubisoft experience and like
mhm,
really it connects with them and they're like, yeah, those are the types of games I want to play. And so I think the people who feel that way about this game because it's
got it.
just the same like Ubisoft formula. And then I think the people who like already balk at like Assassin's Creed Valhalla and those sorts of games are playing this one and going, it's this it I was expecting so much more and it's kind of the
Mm,
same thing but with a Star Wars skin. So, um I'm working my way through it, but yeah, I would just say on this one, it's like it's nothing special,
Gotcha.
unfortunately.
But as a
And I
Star
think,
Wars, you're the Star Wars guy. Like, does the Star Wars
yeah, I know. And
aspect of it
as a
amp it for
Star
you?
Wars guy, it's nothing special. I
Mm,
really like it. It really is like the most Star Wars skinned project ever. It because there's just, I mean, I don't want to hit them too hard because
yeah.
I'm not like if I were reviewing this game based on like the 15-20 hours I've played so far, I'd probably say it's like a 6, which
Mm,
means it's okay, right? But I don't think that there's really nothing about this game that makes me like get to my feet when I'm playing it, right? It's like I'm going through it and I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. I like that I'm seeing some Star Wars locations. I like that the music and the vibes, and it's got a very like 70, everybody looks like a 70s character with like a
yeah.
big mustache and floofy hair, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool."
Mhm.
And as somebody who plays it passively, I think it's okay. But to be frank, this is also how I feel about Assassin's Creed lately. Like when I play an
Mm,
Assassin's Creed game, I kind of am like, "Okay, this is fine. It's more Assassin's Creed, nothing special." So I felt this way about Ubisoft open world action games for a while now,
okay,
and
yeah.
it is certainly disappointing to see that when they had the opportunity to do something new with Star Wars, that they basically just fell back on their laurels and did the exact same thing that you figured that they were going to do with a game like
Mhm.
this. And that is disappointing, but it's not like offensive. Like
Okay.
nothing about the game is like broken
They
or
showed me
just
some clips,
bad.
Trav. They showed me
Well, I
some
mean, I've
AI.
seen
And
some bugs.
I
Yeah,
see
like
some
ever
stuff. I was
play
like, "What's
play
going
any
on
open
here?"
world game with
Mm,
ragdolls, physics, and some AI in an open world. You're gonna find some bugs. The clips are gonna
mm,
be there, but like I'm with Travis, but I just come from a slightly different perspective. I have literally managed to miss Assassin's Creed and Far Cry, all of them.
wow,
wow.
Yeah,
that's
I
wild.
know.
Wow.
So even my
I
buddy
mean,
is
this
like,
isn't
dude, you,
really like Far Cry, but yeah, it's definitely Assassin's Creed, which
yeah,
is
Damn.
crazy.
Damn, no Assassin's Creeds ever?
no. It's
That's
I don't for whatever
crazy.
That's
reason, it's like for whatever
crazy.
reason, even more so in the past like few when they come out, I kept hearing how much bigger they kept getting. And usually I would be focused on something else in the
Yeah, but
past
how did
decade,
you
but
miss it during its prime when everybody was
Damn.
playing Assassin's Creed 2 and
don't
stuff? That's
honestly know.
wild.
Cause I mean, yeah, like one of my buddies is like Assassin's Creed 2 is like one of his favorites, I think. And like there's a
Really good.
couple. So like I don't know. So yeah, you can Far
No
Cry
fan,
3,
no fan.
Far Cry 3 I've
So do you
heard
not even know the story really of
not
Assassin's Creed?
much really, no.
Wow,
Wow, that
that's
is
crazy. That's
I know
wild.
fantastic.
there's like that other like reality and stuff they bounce between. That's kind of like the little
That
gist
was
that
like
I
the
know.
big twist of the first game is like you bought
Yeah.
the game thinking it was gonna be a Middle Eastern like assassin game, and all
Yeah.
of a sudden you're in like the sci-fi future and you're like, "What's happening right now?"
What?
Yeah.
It was so cool.
So,
Mhm.
um, so for me, having not played the 15th Ubisoft open world kind of
Mhm.
thing, I'm probably a little nicer on some of it, but in the grand scheme of like little stuff, hey, I do pick up one of the weapons that the enemies drop.
Mhm.
Well, I can't like put it on my back and take it with me anywhere I go. If I do
That's what
anything,
Maddie
I
told
drop
me.
it. So that's like now
Yeah.
I listened to Maddie's. Now he absolutely hated that more than I did. They're a
Yeah, he
limited
just
yeah, they're a limited resource. Like they also have like 4 bullets on a sniper rifle and you can't refill it. So it's like it is
Mhm.
meant to be a temp thing, but the fact that I can't take the temp thing with me in places or even I had Nix bring it up a couple of things, but there were some limitations. Yeah, it's like I would probably say I like the Star Wars vibe, just walking
Mhm.
around one like Muragana, the first big city, just walking around in there feels like a Star Wars smuggler outer rim city. I mean, it just drips in Star Wars for me.
Mhm.
Not being quite as into it as Travis, but just like the vibes and then the factions and stuff playing against each other. I'm like, I'm having enjoyment. For me, the fact that like I'm probably more easy on it because I haven't played as many games like this
You right.
there, and also I'll mention the PlayStation version as well because that email came out recently. I
What
had a
happened?
progression bug.
Ew.
First planet, you go up to orbit, do a thing, and you come back.
Mhm.
When I came back, I could not go to orbit again. Means I could not progress the story.
Yo, you got the worst luck
I
with bugs, bro.
do. Same
No,
thing.
it's
Bro, like
crazy.
it's just
Same
like
thing happened in
I can think
Starfield.
Starfield. I
Starfield
can
did
think
it.
about 3 times. There's
Yeah.
another game you played,
Yeah, I feel like
and
there
you
was a
it.
yeah, I get the progression breaking bugs. Well,
Yes.
apparently, I like, and this is for PC. I think one other person had that in the like Discord that I was able to get into, but
Mhm.
the email that came out and I listened to every so often you like listen to somebody read something and that I don't know if they're just doing it for content purposes, but they made it more than it needed to be. So I'm not going to mention
Mhm.
who read the email, but whatever
Mhm.
email went out to PlayStation players,
Yes.
there was apparently a bug and they asked you during the early access period, if you've been playing this thing, if your save is on an old version of the game, you probably need to make a new save,
Mm.
aka start over,
Oh.
to not have a
Oh,
progression blocking bug that they had.
wow. That's crazy.
So, yeah. So the
Yeah.
fact that you paid for early access, played for a few days, and now the fact that one, your early time that you paid extra for is not going to be worth much, but two, you might have to start over and people are, mixed on the game, not doing itself any favors. Not.
Okay. All right.
So, like, I'm having a good time. I'm going to play through it because I've restarted it and I'm past where I was. I'm doing enough stuff. I'll see it to the end. Um, and if you just want to hang out in it, if you want to do stealth in a Star Wars world,
Mhm.
you can probably find some fun. I would wait until all the bugs are fixed.
Yeah.
Um, and if you like that concept of a lot of stealth, and I do mean a lot of stealth,
A lot. That's what I heard.
and
Yeah.
that's kind of the big thing. It's like you can go loud
Assassin's
at
Creed.
times,
Yeah.
but generally it's going to favor the other for
Is it
multiple
true if you
reasons.
get caught, you get sent back to the beginning?
There
No.
are no like there. So, okay, I heard some of that too, and they were blowing that stuff out of
That's
like
overblown.
proportion. Yeah, like
Okay.
for one, there's a ton of autosaves. Like the fact that I crashed. I'll say this now. I've probably crashed about 40 or 50 times. I shit you not.
Damn.
To desktop,
In
like an instant.
in Outlaws?
Yes.
What the hell?
I
What
asked.
is
I
going
asked. I asked
on?
somebody else that I knew.
I haven't
They
crashed at
crashed
all.
once.
I haven't crashed at all.
And I literally will boot it up and it'll crash multiple times for me before I'll actually get going.
We gotta
Maybe
look
it's
at this
a
rate.
so I will say, Ubisoft is one of those studios where their PC versions usually suck. It could be
Mm.
that because I know you're playing on PC and I'm
Yeah.
not.
Yeah. So
Mm.
again,
What was your friend playing on?
that was a 4090. So and
No, what was your friend playing?
PC.
Oh, he's on PC too.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just you then. Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing on Xbox and it doesn't look particularly amazing, but
Yeah, and that's kind
it's
of the thing on
been
PC. I
totally
think
stable.
on PC, I do think the game would look pretty. And it does for me, but I think for a lot of people, it would look prettier with a 4090, but I'm running a 3090. Um, I don't think it would look quite as good as Black Myth. Black Myth looks really good.
Yeah, that's stunning.
But Outlaws overall, like for me, it's just been, but I will say the fact that I've had that many crashes, they're typically related to like a fast travel moment or something that's like not in the middle of something. It's typically in between things. So the autosaves have pretty much, they're so frequent. I really haven't lost progress due to a crash. It was just the progression bug that made me start over. So the autosave works a lot. As for the thing where, like, I was working on one little thing where I had to sneak into a little place. Well, being as my reputation was reasonable enough, I had to sneak past two guys. Well, then I annoyed one of them and I got caught and was like, oh, I got to run over there and do that little thing again. That was so like, it took me 5 more minutes. It's not like I got to
Okay.
redo a whole base. There was one point I wanted to test it. I pissed off
Yeah.
an entire Imperial base, got it to wanted level 6. Death troopers were dispatched. I get like all of it, and I survived. I went to the
Uh-huh.
Death Trooper camp, took out the captain, removed my status, and I survived all of that. So if I made it through all of those things,
Okay.
like you
Fair enough.
can get through it. So I was able to like position myself like on a balcony and they kind of like funneled in. I was picking off from down below. Nix was down there throwing grenades back because I had him upgraded.
Mhm.
And then like the one thing I will say is typically there's a lot of pairs that you have. Well, you have a stun gun. So it's like you can send Nix to like jump on his face, kind of like a face hugger. He'll like
Yeah.
kind of distract him but smother him a little bit so he doesn't make an alarm. And then you can
Mhm.
stun the other one pretty quick or run up and get him. But yeah, it's not a perfect game. So I was like, I might be more of a 7 where I think it's a good game. Travis is 6, and I think that's a fair thing too.
Mhm.
Uh, like Greg, I think he gave it a 4 out of 10. I thought that was harsh in my
Oh,
personal
oh, wow,
opinion.
wow.
But I also know
Very
like
much.
Ains, I think for
Yeah,
Seasons
Ains gave it.
Gaming, not Ains, but who reviewed it, I forget his name, Alex. I
Alex,
talked to him.
he gave it an
He gave it
8.
8. Yep, he gave it an 8, and I was
Yeah.
like, I could
But to be
see.
fair, he's also the only people I know who have beaten the game have
Mhm.
given it higher scores
That's
than
what
me.
he
Alex
actually
did.
said.
an 8. Dan beat the game, gave it a 7, and I see a lot of the people that are rating it more lowly are
Yep.
people who played it for
Got it.
hours, and I will say the worst part of the game I played was, like, the first 10
Yep.
hours. I don't think the
Mm,
It gets better
game
as you go.
is not super great at the beginning.
Yeah,
got
and
it.
that's
Okay.
because I talked to Alex and he was like, as he got farther into the story, he's like, "Oh, I just had one of those moments," and he's like, he got up to an 8 as it progressed. So the farther
Okay,
he
cool.
got into it, the better it actually got for kind of pushing to the
Mhm.
finish line. So that's why I kind of want to finish it, even with all the bugs and crashes that I'm still having. I'll just power through to the finish line. Um,
Nice.
so yeah, that's my experience on Outlaws. I would wait for it to get polished, and if you like a lot of stealth in a Star Wars universe, you could have some fun. But know those things going in. That's kind of where
Oh,
I
yeah.
would leave that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm hoping that I feel similarly and that it goes up to a 7 or an 8 for me. But,
Nice.
right now it's very, it's exactly what I thought it would be, and that's never super exciting when a game doesn't surprise you in any way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. Uh, what else? I feel like so I played Kunitsugami. We talked about that a little bit. I know you've
Mhm.
raved about that a ton.
Yeah,
Played
I'm
Black Myth.
doing New Game Plus now.
Yeah, I remember you saying you were going for that. Which I'm
Mhm.
like, there's probably an ending. I'm like, I can just YouTube it. I'm good. I don't need to go
No,
through a
yeah,
whole game again.
for
Like
me, I
that's
just because it's such a cultural piece for me, and it
no,
made me
like
wanna
it's so
learn
cool
about
looking.
what that is, that, what
Yeah.
is it? There's a name for it. It's a term. It's a Kasuga game or I forgot what it is, but
Hmm.
that's literally based on some type of, like, Japanese kinda opera,
I was like, I totally
thing.
forgot those moments where
Are you
I don't
talking
know
about,
how often it would happen. The big murals that would like pause on, those were phenomenal. Like the
Oh,
amount of detail in those murals when you could like move around and
beautiful
look at,
stuff.
yeah, like the art in that game is
are you
gorgeous.
talking
And
about Kabuki Cog?
It's something else. It's if you go to the website, they have it named, and it's a cultural thing. And because I knew I
Kabuki?
was like, this game is based on something. There's no way they just came up with this.
Kagura action strategy.
Kagura, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is. Yeah, it is just oh my god, it's beautiful, man. It's just stunning stuff.
Yeah.
And also the music, like the dance and stuff that they be doing. You know what I'm saying with it then.
Oh, the
It's really
ritual to
cool.
open the
Yeah, the
Torii gates
ritual
and
they be
stuff.
doing
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I like that, Jay. Like, it's you know what she makes me laugh when you carve the path and then you see where she's gonna be. Have you ever sped up time and see her do her little?
Oh yeah, where she's like dancing her way
I
down it
laugh
all on her
like,
own. I'm like, what are you doing?
what do you do? It's like the frolic of goodness.
Yeah.
It's like it's just I cannot put a finger on why I love this game, but it's a piece of art, and that I think that's what it is.
Absolutely. No, I mean, I honestly think that I am surprised this game got made, but I am glad it
Yes,
did. It's one of those that I'm very
yes,
glad that Capcom, again, they do some of their big ones, their tent poles, their
yeah.
Monster Hunters, their Resident Evils. I am glad Capcom is successful enough to have these things like come out, but also
Hmm.
the fact that like if you play it, like most people that I know played it, I think the Metacritics in the 80s, like it's a
Oh,
solid
nice,
game. That's why I was
nice.
like, I would tweak the town stuff. That's that
Yeah,
meeting could have been an email. But outside of like that's not like game breaking. It's just to progress all of your characters, you need to go back and do it every
yeah.
time. So
Do
you're
all that.
getting the
Yeah,
upgrade. So if you're missing
yeah.
it, you're kind of missing out. But
Mhm,
it's a damn good game. It's fun.
mhm,
So I was impressed. Um
mhm.
yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything.
Other games?
Yeah, what other
Yeah.
games you ever playing?
We could talk about Concord.
Oh, you and
Yeah,
Ains
that.
both played that. Yeah, I do want to hear about that one.
Let's talk about that because you reviewed it, sir. So
I
let's
did.
get to it.
Yeah, it's a good game nobody will play.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I mean, some games just don't click. I get it, man. Hero shooters are already a tough sell when it's $40 and has a platform exclusivity. Um, it's even less likely. And then you throw in on top of that all of the like stuff I don't care about, but some
Mhm.
people apparently care about it, which is the I don't know, the political
Oh,
part
that
of it.
part, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, where
But like,
people don't want to play it because of there's no white men in it. Apparently
right,
people care about
you
that.
Okay, no, hold on. Do you
know,
guys know the review for Black Myth Wukong that I'm talking about related to this?
No.
Mm-mm.
So, I don't care who reviews a game, guy, girl, anything in between, any letter of the alphabet, LGBTQ, it does not matter. if you're playing a game of Black Myth Wukong and one of your cons is that there's not like inclusivity and diversity in this game based around a Monkey King, I have questions. And I'm like, that was one of those that I saw. I'm like, I am sorry. Like sometimes I just can't take some like that does make it makes zero sense to me at some point.
Really
So
interesting.
when you say that about Concord, I'm like, there's like a green dude talking in the trailer. He's not any color. He's green. So I'm kind of wondering.
What's funny is I've heard people justifying saying that he's white male coded because he's green. I don't know.
Green, dude.
Look, Evantis, I don't care. I'm telling you that
No, I
this is
know
the thing
I
people
didn't.
care about.
I
Yeah.
know.
Obviously, I'm not going to talk about that in
No,
my review because
yeah.
I also don't care. But I can tell you, I've seen the comments. People really
Oh, I'm
care
sure they're all there.
People
about
really
That's the
care
crazy
about this.
part.
Yeah, yeah.
people
I
really
think,
care.
yeah, I think what it is for whatever reason, they'll just say
Yeah, sure.
that people are not connecting with these characters. It's kind of vibe I
Yeah.
got. But
No, I
yeah.
don't think that. I think it's that they are not giving because honestly, I think the characters are mostly pretty good. I just think it's one of those games where like even if you were interested in it, it's
Hmm.
kind of a leap of faith. Like here's like an anecdote. Like Ains was playing the game, and Ains liked the game even more than I did. Right? He's
Hmm.
like having a good time with it. His son, who's like a teenager, comes down, or a young adult, like in his
Yeah.
20s, comes down and looks at the game, and he goes, "Wow, this looks really cool. I'd like to
Hmm.
play this game. Like, can you tell me about it?" And Ains starts telling him about the game, and he goes, "Yeah, it's on PlayStation. It's a $40 game." And after that, Ains' son says, "Yeah, I couldn't get my friends to play this game, even if I wanted to. Like, nobody's gonna spend $40. Nobody's gonna get on this. Like,
Hmm.
it sounds like they don't have enough like game modes." And so it's just one of those things where like you have to spend a lot of money to get a game, and if it's a multiplayer game, you have to get all of your friends to buy it
Yeah.
too. Otherwise, you're
Right.
not going to have like a crew to roll with, and playing it by yourself isn't super fun. And so
Hmm.
the game just lacks like the inertia to
Hmm.
like get people to even try it. And I think if people try it, generally they're like, yeah, it's pretty fun. I don't know if they're like it's $40 fun or it my problem with it is it just doesn't really do anything that you can't already find in Overwatch, right?
Right.
It's like a clone of the game, and Overwatch is now free. And so
Right.
that's its problem. And then you also have the problem where people who really like Overwatch has a rabid fan base.
Hmm.
They are they're like playing defense. Like they don't want another hero shooter to be popular. You guys see this sometimes with like looter shooters where
Hmm.
people don't want to play these quote unquote Destiny killers because they are on Team Destiny, right?
Yeah,
And so I
I was
think you
part of it.
see
I was part of the brigade.
yeah, I think you're seeing that with the
I was
hero
part of the
shooter.
murdering and the killing. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
that was me.
I think you're seeing that with part of the hero shooter vibe is like
Mhm.
there's a lot of Overwatch stans who are just like screw this game because I don't want anything to be more popular than Overwatch. And
Mhm.
so I think there's a lot of reasons why the game will not be popular, and I think it will not. I think it's gonna have a bad time,
Well,
this game.
Cog and I
But
were
as a
talking. Oh, go ahead.
but as a
Sorry.
reviewer, the question I'm trying to answer is it a good game? And I actually do think it's good. I
Mhm.
think it's good. I just think it's one of those good games nobody's gonna
Gotta
play,
play.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's fine. That's, happens.
Mhm.
Yeah. Cog and I were
Yeah,
talking a
definitely.
little bit before the show just about this is kind of one of those where I mean we watched Suicide Squad take a how big was the hit for
Right.
$200 million for Suicide Squad for Warner
Mhm.
Brothers? I feel like Sony's got to be looking at their books right now, kind of planning for the hit that this thing's going to be because I don't think they're going to make anything back. I mean, I know Steam numbers are not all of it. It probably will eventually go free to play and PlayStation Plus and any of those other
Probably.
things that you can
Yeah.
do, but I think it missed every chance at a window. As you said, there's zero momentum behind this game at all. And I don't think there was any between the open beta and the closed beta and any of that. There was nothing there. So then
Yeah.
it came out and just kind of, like a fart in the wind. It's just gone. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing pushing it forward. It's kind of
Yeah.
sad that, as you said, it's a quality shooter. Nobody wants to play. I think you've said
Yeah.
that perfectly. It's just
Yeah.
that's going to
I
be
just never
it's
seen.
It happens sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, but I've never seen numbers this low. I was surprised it was
Oh
Yeah.
my
like below
god.
Redfall. I'm
Very
like,
low.
what's going on
697
here?
on Steam was the peak, and I'm going,
Yeah.
what?
And obviously we knew, with the open beta, what was it like in the 2000s? So that
2300, yeah, something like that.
yeah, that
Yeah.
didn't bode well. And then my thing was just like, man, usually with this type of, hit, studios get closed for stuff like this, man.
Oh,
So
this
I'm
studio is
worried
gonna
about
have.
Firewalk, like, they got
Yeah.
top talent there. There's some
Yeah.
Well,
ex
that's
you know,
kind of the
Bungie
thing too, is
guys.
like from the
But
cinematics, and I was telling him the cinematics, I feel like the capture, the like facial tweaks and stuff, they did really good work on that. So I feel like take those teams and give them to other places maybe to help work on stuff because there's some talent in there, as you said. But
Mhm,
yeah,
honestly, like, if you look at the team, anybody who likes Destiny multiplayer, the combat in,
mhm,
um I mean, I would put this up there with, like, Halo and Destiny in terms of, like, PvP chops, like, they're
mhm.
really good, and by the way, a lot of people at Firework are former Destiny
A
oh
former,
yeah,
yep,
fans who
yeah,
oh
that's
yeah,
what I
it's
was
John,
who worked on PvP, yeah,
Josh
that's what
and
Hammer, and
bothered
John
so
me.
Wisniewski. I remember
Yeah,
those two for
'cause
sure.
I
yeah,
remember when the
so
team was put together, I was like, "Yo, somebody might have something like
They've
that's a
they very
quality team."
clearly know what they're doing. I just think that they made missteps with the model, like,
Yes.
and this has nothing to do with the review, which is why I don't
Mhm,
talk about it in my review, but, like, $40 was probably a
mhm,
misstep. The way that they are rolling out the story where they're only doing 1 cutscene a week, that was probably a mistake because they have no momentum. Yeah, so when you
mm,
play the game, you get 2 cutscenes and then nothing. There's no 3rd cutscene yet. And
mm,
I maybe that's changed on Tuesday, but yeah, whenever the reset was,
mhm,
but yeah, they like, just the way they rolled out the model, you don't really get to know the characters in the same way.
mhm,
Overwatch, their model was they also have a terrible story and characters
yeah,
that aren't fleshed out enough, but they made those YouTube videos, so they had some, like,
yeah,
virality, and they were able to gain, like, momentum through them,
mhm,
and so I just think they made a lot of, like, poor decisions with the rollout and the model they chose that made
mhm,
it so that nobody really got a chance to get addicted to their game. Because I think most of the people playing the game are, like, surprised it's not more popular,
right,
right? Because you play it and you're like, "This is pretty good."
mhm,
But I get why it's not popular. I think that
mhm,
they fumbled the bag
yeah,
on the model and the way that they decided to do this. And then on top of that, they do have legit problems with the actual game, like
mhm,
the fact that there's only 6 game modes and they're all like carbon copies of other game modes in other games, like King of the Hill and the Kill Confirmed and stuff like that.
mhm,
They don't have any like signature game mode in their game is really weird. And
mhm.
I just think they have some problems with like their content delivery and all that stuff. And unfortunately, I don't think that they're really going to be given the landing room
Yeah,
to
'cause
build on it because this game is nightmarishly unpopular.
yes. Yes, definitely, and, my thing also is that, but the thing that's scary is that Sony acquired the studio based on this game.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. I was just like, wow, like this is. I'm assuming Jim Ryan there because somebody told me it was like 8 years in development.
yeah,
I
I
was like,
heard
God
that.
damn.
About the same time Overwatch launched is the big rumor going
Mm,
around. Don't know if it's true, but around that time, it would make sense that, hey, hero
mm,
shooter, let's try and go make our own kind of thing. It
mhm.
seems possible for sure.
Gary Timbrell. This is a good segue to talk about how Marathon is not coming along well as a game and why the director got rightfully fired.
I guess we
Yo,
may as well talk about that elephant in the room
okay,
for a hot minute at
might as well
least.
get to it.
I'll leave that to
I
you,
mean,
Cog. Go ahead.
I
Yeah,
unfortunately
man.
see a lot of parallel between Concord's, like, unexpected demise despite having a lot of talent on it and Marathon. Like, I'm very worried that that is gonna suffer a similar fate.
Yeah, I've been on the boat of very concerned about Marathon. Obviously, we heard the report not doing well. We still to this day don't know what the model is, if it's, a full price game, a $40 game,
We don't
$60
know
game,
anything.
or free to
It's
play, right? And then we got the news. We got the news about what happened to Christopher Barrett, and then obviously it was strange that we knew he was a new director was going to be in a project, but the thought process was okay. Well, why isn't he on Destiny, or why is he on something else if he's pulled off? And now we have the answer. So yeah, it looks like basically some form of a sexual harassment suit, and he was fired, and multiple people came forward, and now we are where we are. So it looks like it was a corporate thing behind the scenes. Ian, what's your thought? What's your thoughts on it? As far as their handling of it, and then obviously what happened, and it's been very interesting on Twitter. That's all I'll say
seems like it was
about.
handled corporately. Is the
Yeah.
probably the only way I can say that without getting too worse on it.
Hmm.
Obviously, it doesn't seem that hard to not be creepy. The dude's married. It's not that
Yeah.
hard. Now, I saw one point where people were giving a lot
Hey,
of
To be fair, Montes, I've been married for a couple weeks now, and I'm still very creepy.
I mean, but she knew that, and that's why she married you. So
She knew
That's
that what
true.
she was
I
getting
don't know
yeah,
into.
if that's why she married me, but she certainly knew what she was
she knew what she
getting.
was getting into, and
Yeah.
she's. I was like, I know I wasn't there. I'll never be able to make a toast or anything, but I gotta say, having seen you two in person, having seen like the pre-show where we get to check with her, and, like chat with her for just a minute, she is a perfect match for you because you guys
Yes.
know sometimes Travis gets a little rambunctious on the show, keeps me on my toes, which is always fun. She is the perfect match for him because she will
Yes.
match his energy, but also
Yes.
she can fire back with the best of them. And with somebody like Travis, I was like, I've watched it happen, and just you want to see, oh,
Yeah.
Travis is going to come in with the improv chops, and she will shut him down faster than anybody I know in the whole group. And I was like, you are great, you are wonderful, you guys are a perfect match. So no, you guys are absolutely wonderful. I'm so happy
Yeah.
you are married. That's so great.
Yeah. She can
No,
fight back.
so
Mhm.
what I wanted to say is it is not
Physically.
that hard not to be creepy. I saw something where Ninja, we know Ninja, giant streamer, and he
Yeah.
was just like, I
I
don't.
don't know.
Okay,
Just to be clear.
that's fine. Some people who will listen to this probably have heard of Ninja. Over the years, that's probably come up. There was a point I saw on Twitter, there was a clip where he's like, I don't like I hang out with the boys, I hang out with my wife, I don't text anybody, I don't DM any girls, I don't do anything. And it's one of those situations where people were giving him crap for that. And I was like, are you surprised that somebody with popularity and power has a risk of something going wrong? So he chooses not to put himself in those
Right.
situations. And I'm like, he's just playing it safe. He wants to stay married to his wife and he wants to not have any scandal or anything, and he takes that out of the equation. I was like, yeah, there's a balance of like, yes, you can have friends and stuff, but if you feel like you're worried and you want to take it out of the equation, the fact that people gave him crap for doing that, I'm like, that is just a personal choice to not,
Right.
have a risk of something.
Be
I mean,
risk
it is
averse.
weird. That's like Mike Pence not being allowed to be in the same room with a woman, alone.
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't know that.
there are a lot of
You
reasons.
didn't
Well,
know that?
Hmm.
Oh
that's
yeah. So it
probably
was
a whole
funny that
different reason, but
when when Kamala got the nomination, some
Mhm.
people were saying that she should pick Mike Pence as like an FU, right? And then somebody else pointed out that he wouldn't be able to meet with the president because of his policy of not being allowed to be in a room
Oh, that
alone with a woman that
one
isn't his
his
wife. Somebody
wife.
was
yeah,
like, he wouldn't be able to do the job, which is very funny.
yeah. No, I was like,
It is a little weird,
that's a
right?
different
I like
podcast
Bit
discussion.
extreme.
I was like, that's a different podcast. But basically, is the point is like he's making a choice to try and remove the risk of
Himself
those,
from I know guys
himself
like
from
that. They
risk.
like,
And like,
yo,
I'm sure he has like
yeah,
female friends and stuff like that he's known forever. But especially like new introductions, God only knows what people
yeah,
want to do. My point is like somebody can have enough conscience to try and make that effort to be a decent individual.
yeah,
So when somebody does any of the things that we seem to have got from the article about our previous director of Marathon,
yeah,
yeah, that's not great, and I'm not surprised he's gone, and when I say it was handled corporately is because when that comes out and then you see some of the stuff come up on Twitter and be like, "You guys remember when we, yeah, the people are just cringing or be like, oh, like, they're cheering for this guy and they're so happy,' and people are just cringing inside with all that stuff,"
yeah,
means a lot of people knew.
yeah, yeah,
Unfortunately, it was covered up. HR is not there for the employees, they're for the companies, so they probably had a hand in some of that too. And then when enough things happened, then he was quietly removed and said to be on sabbatical
yeah,
and just not even removed. And then finally truth comes out that his emails are gone. It's just like it was handled very corporately, and which is shady, which means all of the people who wanted to come forward and feel like they barely get a say in the matter. Yes, he's gone, but it's not like anything's there. So no, it's yes, I'm glad the actions happened that did, but it probably
mhm,
took way too long to get there. Same thing with somebody like Blizzard, and all that stuff came out that sounded horrible and probably way worse from what I heard. But either way, it's just like it's not that hard to be a decent person. And it still seems to be, but it shouldn't be.
yeah. What the issue comes down to, abusive position, right? And when you're in a higher station, so to speak, and you're making, lewd comments about, beyond, the company and then flirtatious and stuff like that, then, you put yourself at risk. And that's what I'm saying. They say, what, 8 female employees that
Yeah.
raised complaints. The investigation found that he called lower
rookie
level.
numbers.
Yeah. Scott with a good joke. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
He called lower level female employees attractive, asked them to play truth or dare, and made references to his wealth and power within the studio. suggested
Hell
he
yeah.
could help advance their career,
Baller
according to.
move.
What's this casting couch energy in the what's going on,
Oh
bro?
God.
Like,
Okay. Yeah,
what are you
Dude.
that's
doing in the
So I
studio?
guess now is the time I should tell everybody that all of these things,
Mm,
Cog did them to me when I joined this
man,
show.
listen,
He told me he
it's
had
a rite of
power. He
passage.
he said, "Look, I could get you on the show. I can I can get
I
you
do got
a
casting
seat
couch
on the
energy. I'm
last
known for that.
word, dude." And I'm like, "A Cog, look, I'll do what I got to do, man. I'll do what I got to do. I want to." That's just the business. Look,
So
man.
this young intern,
Yeah.
make a name for himself. Hey man,
We met on Fire Team
we
Chat,
on fire
and
teacher.
afterward he was like, "Hey, I think I could really help you in your career. I got all this power. It was great." He was a
I hope you
lord. What
guys are
was I
enjoying
supposed
the
to do?
last episode of The Last Word.
David said it broke E. Somebody said, "Why,
Look,
Cog? Why?"
if it isn't clear enough, these situations make me hella uncomfortable, and I feel like I have to just joke.
No,
I
I'm
don't
with
know
you.
what to
Like,
do.
that's kind of the thing too, is like we are
Oh
three
man.
guys talking about all the crappy ways females are treated in the workplace.
Mm,
It's like whether it's a female, a minority, or anything else, I could not feel more out of my element talking about any of that stuff. I really do not feel, but it's like I also feel like it's one of those things that's been said to me enough. If you don't say anything, you're also somewhat complicit, which is a
yeah,
problem that so many people seem to do, but it's also trying to find your place to like say it reasonably sound, because it's like it needs to be called out. That stuff should not happen. It's like there was a point where, it's like if you witness something in person and you should act and you don't,
mm,
like your actions speak louder than your words more often than not. And that's kind of the
right.
problem is like if we can say a little bit about something, it's just try and be decent. Don't like these
Yeah.
things are uncomfortable. It sucks to talk about them, but the world right now is not always the best place. So it's a reminder to be reasonable seems like it should be said daily, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do want to say that, like, I think Bungie's in a bad position when stuff like this happens because I do feel like they seem to have handled it well, right? Like they got rid of the guy, which makes sense. God damn it! Sorry, I just saw the comments. But
Good.
I don't know what the alternative is because when somebody gets caught for doing something like this, I don't think the answer is like uh publicly flame them. I think that would
Yeah.
be improper, right? And so they let him go, right? They didn't like move
Yeah.
him to another
Yeah. They
department
let him
like he
go.
was
Well,
They
it's not
fired
like
he
the
him.
was a
Catholic Church or
cardinal.
anything, so
Yeah. Yeah,
Go watch
they
Spotlight.
actually
That's not lies. Like, come on.
yeah, they actually let him go, which I think is good. It seems like maybe it got to too many people before they did it. I don't know what the process was there, but I do want to give them credit there.
Mm. Yeah. Well, they handled it, and he's moved on. So new director now for Marathon, and
Yeah, he's been there
I
for a
do, I
bit
do want
now.
to I do want to help me remember though. Just I felt like he was part of some big seasonal stuff when some. I remember seeing him on a stream back in the day, like when
Who, Barrett?
yeah, like I felt like what was
He
he
might have
part
been
of
in a
some of the
Vidoc
good
kind of thing.
the Vidoc thing? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, somebody did say it's weird to think DMG came back to work at Bungie at the
it's like at the
absolute worst
worst
time. No, he
time.
came back,
Yeah,
layoffs happened, this happened.
yeah. Forsaken, yeah. Shout out to all. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
he
like
was
I saw him
probably in
around
like a Forsaken
Forsaken.
Vidoc, but that's
Yeah,
also
during the
what.
comebacks.
But after Forsaken, that's when him, Scott, Steve, Cotton. I'm trying forgetting
Mm,
Scott's last name. There's another. There's so many of those leads left at the same time,
yeah, at the
so
same
they
time.
all
Yeah.
went to go do stuff. Yeah, he was one of them at that point.
Hmm. Yeah, no, and to your point, last thing is always interesting to me when I see reactions from the other coworkers, and you see,
Oh, the
what's your
reactions on
man
Twitter make it worse because you're like, oh, this was kind of known.
known, yeah, kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
that's the part that kind of makes it worse is when you see people like,
yeah,
or
it's a
and then
shame.
also some you can see feel vindicated
Yeah,
because they may
I've
have said
seen some
something
people.
and then things didn't
Oh,
happen. I saw one of those that
yo,
looked like it was kind of a call out.
I saw. What's interesting? He got called out way earlier during the initial layoffs. And then
Yeah,
it was just a random Christopher Barrett's a bad person. I'm like, what does this have to do with anything? I didn't get the
yeah.
context I'm not gonna put who this person is, but she's a prominent person in the Destiny Bungie community, and she worked for Bungie for a while. And she
You could
made a
be
comment.
vaguer than that, by the way, because I think I
Okay.
know who you're leading to by
Yeah,
saying
and
that stuff. So yeah, be vaguer.
sorry. So yeah, anyway, it was a former employee, and they had something to say, and it was just at the time I didn't understand why this person was specifically called out, why Barrett was specifically called out, but now
Yeah.
obviously that person knew.
Yep. Yeah, David said the one. Yeah, there was one post about
Yeah,
sipping tea, and I was just like,
Ooh. Yeah, I saw
yep,
that one.
yep.
Mm,
So
yeah, no real advocates here. So
no, so yeah, be decent, treat each other with respect.
hmm
It just seems to be like what should happen, and seems to be a bit of a struggle. Um,
yep.
and not to end the show on a downer note, while Travis
hmm
types on his laptop, I can see his camera bouncing.
Nice, love it. Protect.
um, trying to think what else. Oh, like stuff coming up.
Ooh, oh, your murderers row, baby. Tons.
So you got Age of Mythology Retold. I'm not really too keen on that one. Just it's one that's
hmm
coming. Astrobot Space Marine. Powerborn's early
Werewolf
access
again.
going to Steam first. Inatria's coming out on the 19th.
Ooh,
Frostpunk 2. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Shattered Space on the 30th. That's just September.
yeah.
Visions of Mana came out today.
Also, don't forget what else came out today.
Whoa.
Squirrel with a Gun, which I have already beaten.
Oh, Squirrel
Yeah.
would have got. I got my eye on that game.
It looks
Yeah.
ridiculous, and I can't
It
wait
looks
to hear what you think about
ridiculous.
that.
I want to.
The game came out today.
hmm
I already beat it. I got
Okay.
the code. I got the code a full 1 day early.
Nice, nice.
It's a very short game. I beat it in
Mhm.
like 5 hours,
Oh wow.
and it's silly. Kind of got that goat simulator energy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm gonna score it yet, but
Okay.
it is a very brief, just like dumb experience, which I think we were all expecting. But
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Squirrel with the
One to
toast.
actually mention that is kind of shout out to The Verge, who
hmm
had a little bit of pushback for releasing this game, and then they got crapped on, even though
Oh
there
yeah,
was not
yeah,
an
yeah,
official
yeah, yeah.
NDA. It was just a
Yeah.
button push, and I was like, that's not an NDA.
hmm
Deadlock is now actually a public thing, as opposed to how it was previously. Please don't talk about this game we invited you to.
Yes.
Yeah, that was and now they've kind of retreated
hmm
on that one. So yeah,
The Verge screwed up, by the way. It was a terrible decision.
like, do you think they broke an NDA to do that?
I don't think they broke an NDA, but I think they very much misunderstand what an embargo is actually for. An embargo is like not about we're going to take you to court. Have you ever met anybody who's been like fined or sent to
No, they
jail
typically
for
don't
breaking
go
an
after
embargo?
those. They're just gonna not be looked on.
Yeah, they're literally just about like trust between the outlets and the producer
Yep.
and
Yeah.
the publisher. And so if you are being a dick and going around and like breaking embargo on technicality, the end result is going to be the same, which is they're not going to sue you or put you in jail, but they are not going to trust you anymore and
Right.
blacklist you, which is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I just think it doesn't help general trust between media and
Yeah, that's
people if
Yeah.
you're being an ass like this. And it just
Yeah.
like it sows distrust. It makes Valve less likely to do these sorts of things in the future, or you know, maybe they'll shrink their circle of
Mhm.
media that they include. And like for all the people who complain that like it's hard to get access if you're a small outlet, well, reason
that's why.
people like The Verge doing this, that's exactly why. And so I think they're hurting everyone. They're hurting Cog and his indie outlet. They're hurting really everyone, and
Mm.
it's just so stupid. And I saw Tom Warren. I was very surprised to see him like standing by this decision. I think it is a terrible decision and just so on its face a bad call. So
Yeah,
I was
it's like
outside with that. Shout out to
yeah,
the
that's
homie.
kind of one of
Yeah,
those that
he was
was
outside. I was like, man, he's standing on this.
yeah.
yeah,
I was brazen.
I do not understand his mentality there, because I looked at that as like the editor screwed up. That should never have gone to
Yeah.
print, and it's
Mhm.
just yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. But it does seem people Deadlock's sitting right now at 100,000 people.
Wow.
104,000 people. It's actually its highest peak as of yet is right now.
Wow.
While recording
And
this
no
one,
real marketing,
104,000.
no.
No,
That's just
that's
that's
just more and
impressive.
more invites going out
Mhm.
there about the game, and because I got an invite from somebody, I just haven't had a
Mhm.
chance to jump into it yet. So it's just kind of word of mouth and spreading kind of referrals to people to invite into it. It seems that's kind of how you get in. It
Mhm.
seems kind of like a third person MOBA. Haven't played it, so I don't quite know what to define it as. But if Valve is going to release a game, because they never do, they just print money with Steam. It does seem like they've kind of cooked up something here. So between that and Black Myth Wukong and just like everybody playing everything else, Concord had no
Go up
favors,
again.
and then also just like nobody has time for it either, so they're just doing other stuff. But I'm curious to play Deadlock. I just don't know anything about it yet, but it does exist in controversy and otherwise. But yeah, Visions of Mana, that one came out today. Outlaws
I
is
played that
officially
one a bunch.
You did already?
Visions of Mana. I played like 40 hours of that.
Oh, really?
Somebody sent it to me as a wedding gift like the day I got married, and I just played it like right after my wedding.
Mhm.
Nice.
It's alright. It's pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah, I
okay.
think you guys
Yeah.
gave it a
Uh,
8?
Okay, that's probably higher than I would have given it,
I don't remember if it was an
but
8 or a 7 that you guys dropped on it because I was
I think you're right. It was an 8. I remember being like, oh, but I think the reviewer also said
yeah.
that the ending was worth the little like mid grind kind of
Yeah, they
low
did
point.
mention that it was kind of grindy in the
I got
middle. Yeah, it's an 8 though.
I
Yeah.
got to that mid grind low point, and I think that's when I
Ran out of
buckled and
juice.
stopped
Yeah.
playing. Yeah, so
Mhm.
I was not reviewing it, so I was under no obligation
Yeah.
to.
It's the
But
one I
yeah,
was trying to I was actually
it's cool.
hoping to like kind of play that or something, and then it was like World of Warcraft came up, which I guess I can talk about that here in a second. Yeah, Star Wars Outlaws, Black Myth. I was like, I just ran out of time. Too many things altogether.
Yeah,
But I actually did
gotta
play
choose
World of
your
Warcraft for
Going back to your roots.
shout out to hashtag sponsored, hashtag ad. I did get a
Mhm.
sponsored opportunity to play World of Warcraft. But
Going back
what
to
I have to
that.
say is I have not played World of Warcraft like legitimately. There's probably one point I booted it up just to like check it out for a hot second, but I never really played in
Mhm.
15 years. I haven't played since Wrath of the Lich King. It's been a long, long time. And this is their
Long
20th
time.
anniversary. Now, having not played in so long, there's plenty of stuff I probably missed, but they have made something called a delve, which is kind of like a dungeon, but you can solo stuff. Like I've been playing through the campaign, played through the mini dungeon solo, and basically like if I'm a tank, they'll pair you up with a little NPC, but he's a healer and you can go through it. And then I went through a campaign and you can either lead the like into another little mini dungeon, you can either lead the NPCs, like and I was a tank so I was running it, or you can be a follower like if you're DPS or healer sitting in the back and you can take them through like a campaign dungeon. Doing everything in this game solo so far is actually a really good way to open it up to people because I jumped into the story. The cinematics, by the way, damn
Sick.
near some of the best I've ever seen in my life. Like the
Mm.
war within cinematic, go look it up like 4K, look it on the best screen you can. I'm talking every single follicle of like his mustache and eyebrows. It's Anduin, the main guy. The cinematics are on just Blizzard. I mean, they do it. They know how to make their cinematics because Diablo 4 did it. And then now this one, I'm just going, damn.
That's sick.
But yeah, it's like I jumped back into my warrior. The version that I got came with a level boost, so I was actually just able to jump straight into this campaign. And I mean, yeah, it went hard. They kind of blew up a city like pretty early on. It's like not a small. I mean, they went kind of big with this one, and this is going to be part of the World Soul Saga. So it's going to be 6 years of this and two more expansions to tell this World Soul story. I don't know if it's one that I don't have time to like continually keep up with it or really go deep into like leveling up and rating and going back into playing World of Warcraft. But I will say, like, as a solo player, I have not been held back at all. The character boost got me like hit the ground running, and now I'm getting some gear at about level 73, 74 that's
Mhm.
starting to kind of make the difference. And um, if you've wondered about jumping back in, and maybe you don't have anybody to play with or a clan or anything else right now, or a guild, I should say, for that game, even if you just turn on your subscription for a month and check it out and maybe you just want to experience it, you can so far do just about everything I've done solo, and then you probably get to the end game, you'll need to do some like dungeon searches and stuff like that. But I've had a pretty good time. And now I have to
Nice.
say, like I think early on you had ground mounts, so it was like 60% faster than walking. That was the percent. And this is like 20 years ago. Then they had flying mounts, which were a big deal because you could just go bird's eye shot straight to it. And that was like
Right.
100% speed. The new system they have is like it like kind of like flaps the wings of the flying mount, but then you can bank like left and right. You can do a dive
Alright.
bomb where you like tuck the wings and go, and you
Alright.
can go up to like 700% faster, So
Oh,
it is
damn.
like a drastic increase in how quickly you can. So I'm just like flap, flap, like just fly to different areas. And so I'm just like, no downtime. It's just like to the next quest, to this one over here. Combat's going. Um, yeah, it's like I understand people are scared to start playing it again.
Yes.
And what
Uh-huh.
I did a subscription and instantly canceled it, so I only have a month. So I'm not.
He's
I
like,
literally was
he's
like,
like,
"Mm-mm."
you ain't gonna put that crack on me.
I'm not putting a year out there or something crazy. That's not gonna
You ain't
happen.
going back home to your roots.
No, I can't. There's too many. I mean, I just listed September, much less like you get to October. Then you want to know October 8th? This is why I feel like
Bro,
there's a
October's
conspiracy
nuts.
in game releases. October 8th, just that day, and there's probably
Mhm.
stuff I'm missing. Diablo 4 Vessel of Hatred,
Wow.
Episode 2 for Destiny 2, Silent
Mhm.
Hill 2.
Oh,
Same
wow.
day.
Same day.
First
Mm.
Berserker
I'll
Kazan's
I'll
closed
be
beta.
on Diablo for that one.
Yeah. First Berserker Kazan's beta test is October 10th, which I really do
Mhm.
want to play that game. Gamescom made it look really cool. Metaphor ReFantazio, that's the 11th.
Yes, I played that. Looked really I played that.
Then you
That
got,
looks
and
really
then
good.
end of
Persona
October,
Phantom
Black
looks pretty
Ops
good.
6 and Dragon Age
Oh,
Veilguard. The more I see of
and Black
Veilguard,
Ops
the
looked
more I want to
amazing.
play too on that
Oh,
one.
Veilguard looked amazing what I
Yeah.
saw. Woo.
So, and then you got Path of
Dragon Age.
Exile 2 early access on the same
Mhm.
day as Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Jesus.
So I'm like, these timings are just absolutely wonderful. Yeah,
Mm-mm-mm.
we're not short of anything to play right now. I can tell you
Yes,
that.
it's
There's a lot of
going to
games.
time.
If you're looking for something,
Yep.
just look. There's a lot out there. That's the only way I
Oh
know how to
yeah.
say it.
What about you, Chad? What's the ones you're most excited for the rest of the year?
Vessel of Hatred, I'm reviewing
Mm.
that,
Nice.
so that's gonna be
Nice.
a good one. Um, I'm doing the review for the
That's a big
1.0
gap.
of Satisfactory as well. I don't know if you
Oh
guys
yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
played
I've
that
played a
game.
little bit of that. My
Yeah.
brother's played it a ton.
I think the 1.0 comes out soon, so I'm gonna be doing a review of that
Mhm.
probably Monday, I think, is when I get the code
Nice.
for 1.0. That game is gonna be a huge time sink.
Oh, it
Any
is.
any
That is
game
what
that
it
involves
is.
building, I'm gonna lose like half my life.
Oh yeah, it's over for you.
And then I think the middle of next month I get access to the final version of Vessel of Hatred, which by the way, I want to give a shout out. There's a fireside chat, a campfire chat with the Diablo team going on right now. And following their campfire chat, I've got a scoop about
Ooh.
Diablo that's going to be going live. I'm
Wait, wait, wait.
actually part of the reason you guys are seeing me type here is because I'm waiting for the chat to be
Oh,
done
So
because
over there to get
that's
in
my
there.
embargo. My embargo is when our
when it's
chat is
done.
done.
Okay.
So
Nice,
I kind of have
nice.
to manually hit a button here.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have a pretty cool story going live about something they're adding to Diablo,
Ooh.
which is cool. And yeah, that'll
And
be
they
How
got a good
long do we have to
class.
keep this podcast going to get the scoop live on here?
Break it.
I think let's see, their chat started at 11 my time, so they're less than an hour in. Usually their
Mm,
campfire chat's going for a while.
Yeah, they're
So
probably like hour, an hour and a half, so we got a little bit to go. Yeah.
yeah.
mhm.
And then I've got to hit publish and then I can tell you. But yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
So,
so yeah, that those are the main ones, and then, in terms of personally, the ones I'm gonna play,
yeah.
uh, I wanna say
What you got your eye on? What you excited?
tomorrow,
Mhm.
the Ace Attorney Miles Edgeworth,
Of course you would. That's
compilation.
not
Of
surprising.
Dude,
course he's gonna do that.
guys, it's gonna be so good. It's the first time the sequel has been in the West and in an English translation that wasn't made by a fan, so I am so incredibly hyped, for
Uh,
that game. I'm very, very excited.
nice.
So yeah, I played the demo. The demo came out, I think, on Tuesday, and I spent like an hour with it, and then I decided I was getting too excited. I had to put it down and stop playing. But yeah, I'm gonna be playing the crap out of those games this week as
Mhm.
soon as I have access
For
to it.
Diablo's sake, I'm
Uh,
excited with the mercenaries. For me, doing a lot of solo stuff, that'll be really nice.
Mhm.
Mercenaries are cool. The new Spiritborn class is super awesome. A lot of the
Mhm.
stuff, and by the way, the campfire chat today, they're talking about changes to like loot game and the
I mean, I've
inventory
heard as
and
seasons
stuff.
have gone on that like loot game, getting up high level just seems to be smoother and better. So I
Mhm.
am,
It's a totally different game now
yeah,
in
Mhm.
I've
terms
heard they've
of
made a lot of work on it.
very, very good. So, yeah,
Mhm.
be on the lookout for my news story today. But yeah, I'm
Mhm.
excited about a lot of these games. I don't know how
Mhm.
many of them I'm going to be reviewing. I think our review budget is significantly smaller in the second half of the year.
Mhm.
So, but that's fine. I'm still gonna be playing all these games.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Cog, what's your? Well, I mean, what
Bro, so
indie?
much. Yeah, Indies
Well,
at the
indie's
end.
December. Yeah, I keep
Yeah.
forgetting about that.
I'm super hyped for Shattered Space. I've been actually
Yeah, that's
jumping
right.
into Starfield with the new Mako, with the Rev 8 or whatever it is. So I'm excited for that. I love the House Varun storyline.
Oh,
I
one
can't wait.
thing I got to throw a
Yeah.
little shade on
Oh, what's up?
Starfield Outlaws. You can fly to space.
Oh, I saw that's a loading screen. That
But I
that wasn't
mean,
that
but you
impressive.
can actually fly to space. I just had to give you a hard time.
God bless. They ship combat. Maddie told me what the ship combat was. I was like, yeah, I can have
It's not
that.
I don't, man, he ragged on that. Like, I've done
Oh, he
dogfighting in
did.
games before. I know he hated it, but I was like, I don't know how much more you expect for space combat. Like, that, like,
No, he just said it. He didn't say it was terrible. He just said it was basic. He's just like it's
was
not
fine.
I
Yeah.
mean,
comparable.
that's how I would describe Starfield's combat too.
Well, I wouldn't go there, but
It's pretty
I,
basic, dude.
I
Yeah.
love the space combat. I think the space combat is some of the best. And I play a lot of those type of games. Wing Commander, what's that joint? Chorus. It's up there as far as
Chorus is way
dogfighting.
better than Starfield. Come on.
I give it a slight edge. I give it a slight edge. I give you that. I give Chorus a slight, but it's up there. But that I was like, nah, I'm good. The champ is still the champ.
Starfield's not the champ.
Anyway, I'm being messy. But no, that what else we got? I'm hearing great things about Stalker. Great things about
Yeah.
Stalker. So they seem like they've come a long way because the demo I played last year was rough. So I mean, well, obviously we know the studio, all the stuff that they're going through there. So yeah, that what you gonna say? Oh, it's so much. Uh damn. Oh, surprisingly, Black Ops. Surprisingly, Black Ops has been looking good, man.
Oh, I
Uh,
mean, it's if it's sitting there in Game Pass, like the campaign's gonna be pretty. I'm not skilled enough to go have like any major success in multiplayer and being like, I might be a
Show
human shield.
Prestige.
I might be a human shield. I saw that thing
Yeah,
come out
that's
that
the
you could.
human shield look fire.
Yeah,
I
I
get
was like,
that.
that might be
Zombies
me.
look good. Every
Zombies.
time I see it, I'm like, yo, this joint kind of looking
I saw Scarrow
decent.
going crazy for zombies. That was cracking me up.
Yeah, Scales go crazy. What's another one I'm forgetting about? There's one more game. It's an in the cut card game that's coming out between that time and I'm. Is it Alters this year?
Alters.
I feel like Alters.
Oh
It's
no, it's not this
2024.
year. No, they haven't dated it. That's the only reason I know because I'm watching that really close too. Yeah, 11-bit
And
Studios, The Alters with Alex Jordan and all that. Yeah, no,
yeah,
there's no date on it that I'm aware of. So that's no. When
and
that
I need
comes, I want to
yeah.
play it too. I'm with you on
And
that.
the
It
other one I need
looks.
a date on if it's coming is what's the joint? Was it Expedition 33?
Oh, Clara Obscura Expedition 33 looks amazing. That full
Ooh-wee.
gameplay trailer they put out.
Oh my god, it
Yes.
looks so good.
Oh, because you got Ben Starr as like one of the voices, and I forget the
Mhm.
lady who did the other one. Both they were spot on with theirs. That was one thing I would say. I played the demo for Visions of Mana, and
Yeah.
one of the voices in there, and again, I hear Square uses weird voices all the time because I stream the demo. One of them
Mhm.
was like Southern Georgia, like almost like Southern Belle accent for one of the characters, and it
Mhm.
just threw me off because I'm like, why is this coming out of this character? I'm like, sure, it's
Mhm.
a choice, fine, but I was like, I just did not see it coming. But no, Clara Obscura, I'm not even a turn-based guy, and I was like, oh, but we got real reactions in combat with like parries and dodges, and
Yeah, that
okay,
joint.
now I'm in. I'm watching that a lot closer
I need
now.
a release date, man. They still give me no
I
release
think that
date.
one, I want to let that one cook. They can take their time. It looks
Yeah,
really
take their
cool.
time. Take their time. But it's so much stuff, man. It's still stuff I'm forgetting. It's just so many games, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a murderous row between like September all the way to December. There's tons of stuff to play.
Somewhere in there, maybe a
Hmm.
Tokyo Game Show, which seems to be
Hmm.
getting some build up to it. PS5 Pro seems definitely
Yeah,
more and
that's
more and more
imminent.
possible. That's just
Yep.
soon.
Hmm.
Uh, and then yeah, will be interesting because I know there's like speculation of, or at least Paris has it, and I feel like there was some of the leaks. Like if there's a 2026 like an Xbox, that's like one of those weird dates that somebody was wondering if they were doing anything. Seems early if they were going to do a new gen as opposed to a
Yeah.
Pro, because Xbox
Yeah.
said they were really not doing a Pro. I don't
Right.
know. I will be curious to watch how the consoles
Yeah.
do, but yeah, like
How the
GTA,
consoles war.
How
yeah,
the
how the
war
consoles war.
continues.
Honestly, like everything I saw, like I just want to go dump like 300 hours into Monster Hunter Wilds. I want to play that game
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
That's your
Like
Yeah,
game.
that,
That's your
I need to play
game.
that.
the fact that I like Gamescom this year and then PAX West, I would love to be going up there because they've got it going on up there too. But
Mm.
um, no, Monster Hunter Wilds, I will just because World was big enough that I spent so much time and had fun and working
Mhm.
up every little piece of gear and fighting all of them. I played Rise and a little bit of Sunbreak, and they just weren't quite the
Son of
same.
Rome.
No, Sunbreak,
Oh, okay.
not Rise, Son of Rome.
I thought you were playing Rise Son of Rome in 2024, the year of
Monster
our
Hunter
Lord.
Rise, Monster Hunter Sunbreak, they are different things. They didn't quite click in the same way, and hadn't quite figured out why. But I know,
Mm.
like, this is the follow up to Worlds, at least in scale, it feels like. So I'm very much ready for that. And it feels like February 2025 is going to be awful all over again because it feels like now you got Avowed,
Wow,
and then
and Kingdom
a lot.
Come was the
Oh,
week of
those
what
are
week before that.
close. And then,
Yeah.
but it feels like everything's like early 2025, and I'm like, it's all going to be 6 weeks of just chaos again. I know it's going to happen. It's
Yep.
just it's that next section of gaming that comes out. So we'll get this, we'll get our break, and then all that stuff in February, and then watch
That's right.
Act 3. When does that launch? Well, if you go 18 weeks from October, so 4 months. October, November, December, January. Yeah, episode 3 is going to be right in the middle of that.
Good luck. Good luck.
That's assuming there is an episode 3.
No, like there's an episode 3. Anything past that, no promises.
We
But
don't know. Yeah,
just
we don't know.
episode 3.
Frontiers.
That's one of the. I was like,
Yeah.
that is. So when you guys weren't here, I did one show that was by myself, and towards the end
Mhm.
of it, I was talking about other games that I'm looking forward to in this calendar and stuff. We kind of walked through it. But when it comes to Destiny, is like whether it's content creators that are branching out and doing other stuff, which many of you have seen, whether it's
Mhm.
less content from me or anybody else, the podcast, like we're gonna get a week of content, or they're gonna have 5 weeks off. Like for even us here on this show, there will be less of it for probably that reason alone, just so we're not because you do Defining Duke and ILP, so you're doing variety. You do seasoned gaming, so it's like we don't need a variety show twice over for these guys or 3 times for COG. So you may see a little less of us. We'll be here when it makes sense, obviously, when there's
Mhm.
events and things and stuff to discuss. It's not like the show is going away, but it just seems like if it stays as a Destiny thing, and it may be something we look into doing something different or otherwise, but just if there are breaks in the episodes, that is why that's probably going to happen. But towards the end of it, I was just like, yes, we got an exotic mission. I got a void exotic auto rifle,
Mhm.
and then I'm kind of like, and I'm setting the controller down and going
Yeah,
back
that's what
because
it is.
all these other 2 episodes are going to be is like I'll slowly get a couple pinnacle levels here, then max that out. If I don't play that much, my artifact score is not going to be that high, which is annoying,
Mhm.
but it doesn't really matter. And then, do I really care about another horizontal move?
Right.
And my buddy, he has maxed out the first Ascendant, and that game is grindy as hell, but he has got
Oh, wow.
every single thing, and he's been playing
Damn.
some Black Myth too. But I think that's just what he's
That
been.
is a lot of grinding.
Yeah, he's been
That's
grinding a
Or
lot.
or he paid money.
No, I think he's actually. I've seen him play a lot. He and his buddy, I think, have just been
Mm,
farming a ton.
Ethan.
I want to see the credit history. I wanna see the credit
Hey,
You
card
wanna
thing.
see the stat
but
sheet.
either way, like the thing about the first Ascendant is when you beat the campaign and you get to that end game, you're like, hey, it is going to be grindy. But if you put in the time in first Ascendant and you start unlocking all the modules on the character classes or the weapons, your
Mhm.
stuff can get damn near basically twice as powerful. When
Okay.
we get to the done with a campaign, basically the numbers are all relative of what Bungie wants anyway, and we have no way to ever grind for anything more powerful. And especially lately, it's just all been horizontal. It's like it's another perk, and sometimes they're kind of a little bit creative, but I think that's why at this point is like I'm not compelled to go grind. I don't even care about all the weapon frames right now. I'll just slowly unlock them on a weekly basis with my little
Mhm.
freebie red borders. Just I doesn't do anything for me anymore, and I think that's kind of the sad state of where right now the problem with codename Frontiers not really being a thing.
Right, that was huge, yeah.
There's nothing that I'm like looking forward to as
Well,
well. There's
true.
not a new
No.
expansion. There's not a new baddie. These are isolated stories.
We also don't know that there's going to be a future for Destiny. For me, that's like the big question mark is like, how much do I want to grind for a game I'm not sure is going to be here in
Be
2
around,
years?
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
that's
how
the
much
thing.
more?
I'm legit concerned about that, and
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been concerned about that before,
same.
despite everybody saying dead game since 2014.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
but now I'm actually worried. Like, yeah, maybe dead game. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I mean, the reason for full disclosure that I haven't played, I was depressed about it because I was just like, I don't want to invest crazy hard, and then it's just like, yo, it's not going to be there, and it seems like it's one hit after the another. But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, look, I'll log in, I'll knock out, the Exotic Mission, I'll knock out a thing here and there. But as far as like the super over commitment, until I get more clarity on the future, right? It's kind of hard to. There's not, like you said. Usually we always have that thing to look on. Okay, boom, this is coming up. This expansion. Then you hear,
Yeah.
yo, expansions weren't profitable. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, Frontiers, there was no Destiny 3. You're like, damn, all right. Then everything's tied to Marathon. You're like, God damn, like it just seems like it's hit after hit after
Yeah.
hit they've been receiving. And look, I'm at that point. I'm pulling for them, of course, you know what I'm saying? But if it goes, I have to prepare for that reality also, right? If it does. And we've been rocking this thing for 10 summers and 10 winters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's one of the longest running games ever. It's
Yeah.
been a
Had a
phenomenal
good
run.
run.
Yeah,
Only
and
one beat, and it's
honestly,
really World of Warcraft.
yeah,
That's like literally the only
that's
one
it.
that's kind of running
And I,
longer,
I
and
can't get mad at that.
it's not a
Yeah. So
bad to be second place to that.
to be exactly. So for me, I jump in, do my thing, and I will say for nostalgic purposes, I always do Excision. I do Excision. That's the one pinnacle I always do. I'm like,
Oh,
just to, all right, this is you at peak, baby.
oh
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, it's nothing like it. That's how I choose to remember it and do that. But I'll get the Void Joint. I'll knock it out this week, and
yeah. I
knock
mean,
that
that's kind of the thing.
out
It's like the dungeons are cool. There's going to be a couple of those in the episodes. I don't know how they're going to time the drop of those. If it's just like Act One, here's a couple weeks of story in a dungeon, go. If that really happens, then man, like the reason to play the rest of the entire episode. If I get my dungeon early, oof, that's going to be a longer break probably. I
Yeah,
know some people they're just going to wait till the end of Act Three to play,
play it in. Yeah,
but
the,
also like there's some people it's like, hey, if you go into like playing Act Three
mhm.
but you like have to go through Act 1 and Act 2, the amount of traveling between the helm that people are doing,
Yeah, it's
oh, it's
insane.
rough, man.
And I heard people saying that they don't know they're not properly tracked, so they don't know what they're missing to get to Act 3. So there's still a mess with
Well,
that.
people, yeah, you could just join people who were on the mission, and if they were the leader for the exotic mission, but you
Mm.
hadn't played the rest of the story, you didn't get the gun. You had to be at the story point to get the gun. So if you're not there, it's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, there were a lot of not great moments there about
Act 3 started this week though, so I'm not behind or anything.
No,
I'm
you're
just
Yeah,
not.
no,
But
just started. Yeah.
some people were like, "Oh, I heard the season was only okay, so they're skipping." And they're like, "Oh, there's a new exotic mission. Hey, let me go play with one of my friends and I'll go get the
And they
gun." And they
can't get it.
couldn't get it. And I'm like, "I
Yo,
am
that's
sorry."
wild.
Like,
That's
sorry,
wild.
bro. Go to Nessus and grind Vex kills, you bitch.
Get them solar kills. Get them.
Yeah.
Get your botany on. Collect plants. Go ahead. NES. What is it? One
I
through
think the only
four.
the only person I've seen post anything about Destiny that is like optimistic is Scarrow. This guy is like so he's got big down with the ship energy.
Yeah,
Like
I rock with it.
Scarrow is like the guy playing the trumpet on the
Yeah,
Titanic.
we going
He's
down, baby.
he's just having a good time, and I'm like, man, guy doesn't see the writing on the wall, or he refuses to acknowledge it. It's
Listen,
very funny.
it's loyalty to your baby. I'll be on there with him. I'm in my depression stage. I'll get back there, Scarrow. I get with you. We'll ride this thing together. But it was just like I was just mad. It was hit after hit. I was like, God damn, man. Just seems there's always some negative cloud around it. But
oh yeah, so
we shall
the
see.
top of Destiny Reddit right now, the artifact has 35 slots now. Can I have one or two
Mhm.
more perk points? And
You
I
can
fully
sit
agree
there.
on that.
Yeah,
I'm just
man,
like,
yeah.
we're in Act 3. It's gonna go away in 6 weeks. Let us have a little extra fun.
Mhm.
No,
Oh, I know. They've been screaming that for 10 years, but that's fine.
no, don't have fun. Makes you feel any better now there's nobody to scream at you.
I know.
So, yeah, podcast will be here when it makes sense and taking a break when it's not. I'll probably still maybe do a thing here or there, but you guys will always find us on our respective platforms and places. So,
Mhm.
You're
just kind of giving you guys a fair heads up of like, hey, if we're all together, but as like, I think some people are traveling next week. So, I don't know what next week's going to be like, but
Yeah. Next week
unless
I'll
there's
be in
major
San
events, maybe
Diego.
season finale the week after or episode. See, I keep calling them seasons because that's
spent
really
a
what
lot
they
of
are.
time in California, Cog.
I know. Now with
Almost like maybe you
college.
should come out here. I don't
I
know.
know. It's like I've been in Cali like times this year. Like, it's been
Jeez.
insane.
It's a lot
The
of flights
amount
from where
of
you are.
travel.
Yeah.
The
But I
Golden
will say
State calls for you.
The Bay Area, man. You sold it. It was fun. It was fun. Travis gave me the
Bay is cool.
proper Bay Area experience. I never really hung out in San Francisco properly, and I was like, man, this was fun. This is fun. And I got everybody on the Waymos now. It's lit. I got I told you about that guy Dave Lombardi who literally does 49ers. He's like an insider from the
Uh,
Waymo. I love it. And I get to see. I was like, oh, I was there. He's at the municipal building. What is it?
that's so funny.
Yeah, I was like, I know all the areas. I get the context because of being there. I was like, oh, this is dope. It made me miss it.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so I'll be at
I
San
love
Diego
it.
for the what you call it, Last Stand Media, doing the
Yeah.
crossover episode with Dukes versus
Oh, right.
Sacred Symbol Boys in like some type of game show format, and I
Oh,
think Teddy will be in town,
yeah. He's
so
from
not too
that
far from
area,
He
here.
right?
he
So yeah.
lives right near San Diego. Well, he
That's what he
says
told.
San Diego, but he actually lives in a desert where there's no people. It's true.
Why you had to say it like
It's
that?
true.
Actually, it says San
He
Diego.
His life is sad. It's just that when people live in sad places, they reference the nearest cool place to make themselves feel better. Kinda like how you say you're in New York, Cog.
Yep, but I'm really
We
Jersey
all
City.
know you're in Sadness City.
Sadness City. Yep,
Jersey City.
nothing going on. Nobody wants
Uh,
to come visit.
Well, at some point we'll have to come out. At some point we'll just have to come out to San Francisco and hang out with just the two of you or something because we missed all the fun.
yeah,
Or,
you
or
really do,
Ames.
because honestly, man, like, Ains ended up being the only one who stayed past the day that you left, Cog,
Yeah.
because you said he left, and
Mhm.
Ains got, like, we went to Haight-Ashbury with him, we went and saw a
Nice.
Giants game, we did, like,
Oh, y'all went to that? Yes, yeah, y'all did go to a Giants
yeah,
game.
yeah, we went to a
Oh,
Giants
that's
game,
nice.
and
That's
it was
what's
a
up.
great Giants game, it was Dee's first baseball game ever, she'd never been to a baseball
What?
game. Yeah, I know, it's
Oh,
crazy,
wow.
Like
and
I've been to
so
Rangers games. There's plenty of them here. So
she
Mhm.
got to go to she got to see all the quintessential baseball moments in one game. So she got like all her bucket lists. Like she saw a game where it went to the bottom of the ninth and
oh
the team turned it around on the bottom of the
oh
ninth
Wow.
and that
nice.
team won.
That's not
She got to see somebody run onto the field and get tackled by security.
Hey, yo.
Uh, she got on camera on TV. The camera happened to be on our
Oh, it
section,
did.
and
You
what?
did?
she
Y'all
got on
did the
television.
kiss it. Y'all did the
Yeah.
kiss
Dude,
cam?
she did all of the baseball things, like,
Oh, that's
it
awesome.
Well,
was
now
very,
that's her one baseball game because you can't top that experience now.
I
You
know,
can't
that's what I
top
said
that.
to her,
Yeah.
I was like, "Honestly, I don't know if we're gonna be able to top that," but she was sold on it, she was like, "I could go to baseball, I didn't realize that it was you just sitting and eating," and I was like, "Yeah, dude, it's sick."
But
It's
yeah, baseball is kind of
That is
boring to
true.
watch. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
yeah.
it is boring to watch, it's like
It's fun to
watching the
watch.
grass grow with people and standing in the
Well,
way.
that's
Pretty much.
that's golf, but
Yeah.
that's close. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Nice.
all right. Well, I think that's probably a good place to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Good to catch up with you, gentlemen. Glad to
Yes, sir.
get the trio back together. It's been busy,
Mhm.
and it sounds like as everything we just discussed, we're not slowing down. We'll be busy, and we'll be here when it makes sense. That's the best way I can
Mhm.
say it. Not to give you guys quite a bleak future like Fire Team Chat, but we'll be here probably more frequently than they are anymore. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah. Anything else from you guys?
That's pretty much it, bruh. Good to see your faces.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Travis, anything else from you besides congrats on
Uh,
the nuptials?
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I can't believe it's been this long since we got married. I just assumed that we'd done shows, but, yeah, appreciate it. You and Summer still need to come to San Francisco at
Yes.
some point and hang
I
out with
agree.
us.
Yeah, absolutely.
You owe me a trip, bish.
I
Um,
do. Yeah, believe me.
and,
Plan that
yeah,
plan that around a Niners game and just see if Cog can make another trip
Oh,
out.
bro, I'll
yeah,
find a way. We can plan it around the Niners game. I will find a way.
yeah, the Niners just started, like, right after Cog left. I
I
think
know.
Yeah, his
the first
preseason
game
game
was
was away,
Season
and
is
then
yeah.
I know I just got to figure out what our travels like this fall. But yeah, we
Mhm.
we definitely we got to get there because, as
Do
I
it.
said, I was like I went there maybe when I was a kid so much that I've basically never been, and I definitely didn't get the Cog experience.
Mhm.
So
It's an adult city
couldn't have a
too,
better
so
tour guide.
going here as a kid is not it's not the
Yeah.
way because San Francisco is so an adult city.
Mhm.
Anyway, yeah, I've got that Diablo 4 story. They're still doing their their campfire chat right now, so at some point I'll be able to post
Wait
that
for
if
him
you're
to hit
ready.
the publish button, everybody. Go
Oh yeah.
go hit F5 on IG and give them some views because they need more of those.
If you're a
Mhm.
Diablo fan. And then yeah, I've got I beat Squirrel with a Gun, so I think my review's probably gonna go live tomorrow. They only gave us codes a day before the game came out,
That's
so
also
I
a
was
little
able
crazy.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I was
wild.
able to beat it yesterday, but was not able to get my review finished, so I'm gonna
Mm.
finish it today.
All right. Well, chat, you guys have been fun as always, gentlemen. Been a good one. Episode number 307 for August 29th. Thank you guys for being here. And this one has been
The
The
last
Last
word.
Word.
Ask for it.